So here you go. This is Emily C., my new bestie.
I hate the idea that someone out there hates me. I even hate thinking that Al-Qaeda hates me. I think if they got to know me, they wouldn't hate me.
This stole the show. Emily C. was phenomenal.
There's something you need to know.
What?
You're doing great.
Look at my baby. Here she is. Emily. 10 out of 10. Huge fan.
I see Emily C says 123. I trust her. She's really good.
Listen, Turtle, you gotta watch your language. I'm already live. So you need to follow the FCC guidelines.
She destroyed, left nothing in her path. It was so good.
What a day. What a day. Thank you all for being here. I have a lot of thoughts. Whew. Literally, what a day. Before we get to them, I have a few things I want to say. Number one, where did you just go? Hold. Meatball Morrissey Stain is starting a channel, and okay, actually, I'm going to back up for a second. Today felt really heavy, and it felt like a lot. I feel like we saw today like the worst in humanity. I just needed to make sure I wasn't on mute. I feel like we saw just depravity on top of depravity, and like evil being defended. And I want to take a second before we get into everything I have to say about that to like break up the negativity and the heavy. So I have a couple of good things. It was going to be 3, now it's 5. Number one is that Meatball Morrissey Stain is starting a channel, and can you post the link right now again so that everybody can click it? I'll wait, go follow her, because sometimes this Twitter universe feels like it's not really like real life. Like you can always just log out and then it doesn't exist anymore, but it is real life, and like this is real. And Meatball Morrissey Stain is somebody that like I've become real friends with, like in the real world, and somebody that is like the opposite of what we saw today. She is so just like creative and caring and kind and fun, and puts good into the world in a world that needs it. She's like sent me these care packages with just she's the best. I don't want to like say too much if she doesn't want me to, but go follow her, because whatever is going to come out of this channel is going to be a gift to all of us, and we need that. That's number one. Number two, if you are here now, you are my people, and I have 10 gifted memberships that I would like to share with you. So here you go. Woohoo! There's something like very fun about clicking that. Oh wait, and I can see who gets them. Hold on. Nope, too fast. I missed it. If you got a membership, welcome. I have 5 more. Hold, please. I feel so powerful when I do this. Nope, that's not right. Membership gifting. Send 5 now. Yay! Welcome. I guess I'm supposed to say the Turtle Boy. Turtle Boy said I don't grift enough. I'm actually not here for the grift. I know that like the antis love to say that I am. I'm not at all. But don't forget to re-up at the end of the month, I guess I'm supposed to say. Okay, a couple more things that made me laugh. Wild Goose said, slow news day, eh? Yeah, nothing really going on around here. Cuzco Wright said, no Dollywood for us. We got Proctors and Goodies to roast. And yes, I know it's good, but like Goody is just more fun to say. The expert is not here tonight, so I guess it's not really Squirrel School because the expert is hosting a whole bunch of real life people. Again, like this is real, in Tennessee, and they're like getting to hang out IRL and have fun together. And it's adorable. Maybe we'll check out some of the pictures a little bit later. And Buffy said, and this is like why I wanted to break this up. After watching Emily D. Baker go through Proctor's text, I had to take a bath in bleach. I still feel gross. We're going to get to it. But that's why I now have 3 good things that I wanted to share with you before we start the evil. Number 1, hold on, I made myself a list. Number 1 is thank you. Oh my gosh, I almost just closed StreamYard. Okay. Number 1 is thank you to all of you for how positive your response was to my interview with Adam Deitch. It really was kind of a dream come true, and not in like a fangirl way, but in a way where it feels like a lot of the things that I've like done in my life have kind of led me to this moment. I think for a little while I felt like, oh, I'm just like randomly on YouTube and like I don't really know why. But this is, and I can talk more about this later, but like these are things that I actually have like been very invested in for a very long time. Politics, I don't like to call it politics because it's not about like Democrat and Republican and political candidates and this and that, but to me, being invested in politics is a way to make our world a better place and like make our community stronger and more united. And I feel like I have the opportunity now with this platform to do that. And I appreciate the way you guys like showed up and hyped the video. I have my first hyped video. My mom just sent me a text message earlier and it was so cute. She said, looks like your video is number 48 hyped. I hyped it. Like, I didn't even know my mom knows how to do that. That made me really happy. And something I wanted to say about that also for anybody who has anxiety. I was, I don't even know what words are coming out of my mouth. I was having a really hard time the couple of days before the interview. I have a message that I had with Expert that I want to read to you that kind of sums this up. So he happened to message me on Sunday and he said, "How are you holding up? Ever feel overwhelmed?" And I said, "I'm currently very overwhelmed." And he said, "I'm here to underwhelm you. It's my insufficiency power." And then I sent him the clip from 10 Things I Hate About You, where she says, "I know that you can be overwhelmed and I know that you can be underwhelmed, but can you ever be just whelmed?" But then I said, this is the important part. "I've been laying in my bed for 2 hours instead of getting ready for the interview, and every time I think about it, I want to cry. I hope that tomorrow I just feel better about it. I feel like people are treating me like a baby about it. I know that I can do it, but I feel like it's disheartening when people think that I can't handle it." Number 1, I want to be really clear. Nobody was actually doing that. Like 0 people were saying anything but the most positive, encouraging things. And there's something about when you get in that like anxious feeling and like spiraling thoughts that your brain truly does like lie to you. And like I read that back afterwards and I was like, nobody said anything that should have made me feel like that. I don't know why that's what your brain does when it feels anxious. But anyways, that's how I was feeling. And I share that only to say, like, for myself, even to look back on this, to know that like you're not always right when you're telling yourself bad things. And if you can somehow I mean, if anybody actually knows how to do this, because I don't, but if you can somehow kind of tell yourself in those moments, like, this is actually not true. Like, you're lying to yourself. You're wrong. Be nice to yourself. And all of that to say, I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate you guys. I am so grateful to Adam Deitch for taking the time to join me. And I am looking forward to talking more about why it is so important that he become our next district attorney. That's number one. Do I have it? Where did I put it? The morning that I was getting ready for the interview, I was rewatching, where'd it go? I was rewatching Melanie's stream from the night before, and she does her like empowerment cards. And, oh man, the empowerment quote that she had that day, I don't know where I put it, was, take the risk or lose the chance. And I wrote it down because I was like, oh my gosh, this is like exactly how I'm feeling right now. Like, I could just not show up to the interview and be like, whoopsies, I lied. I wasn't really interviewing him. And then I would never have that chance again. And instead I like powered through. We made it happen. It was a lot of fun. I love that man. There was a moment during the interview where I was like, oh my God, you're so cute. I just want to hug you. When he said, like, it's a good thing that I'm not married, I was like, are you putting yourself out there right now? Should we pause and do a little like dating break? Like, are you looking? He was so cute. He's so cute. That's not important. He doesn't have to be cute to be the district attorney. It's just an added bonus. So that's number one. Number two of my good things to break up the evil. My mom, I'm talking a lot about my mom tonight. Hi, Mom. My mom has a, what do you call it? One of those little like library swap book things near their house where she goes and like she'll put a book in and then like take a book. You know what I'm talking about? And she brought some like children's books to trade for other children's books that she could have for Carter at their house. And she pulled out a book, she brought it home, and inside the book was a note that feels like it was 100% meant to find us. And I want to show it to you and read it to you because it was just that's what it's called, the little library. It was one of these moments where it's like, oh, the world, like the universe works in mysterious ways. Okay, so here's the note. It says, from one autism family from another. My son was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2 and is now 14 years old. My son, for anybody who doesn't know, was also diagnosed with autism at 2 and is now 5. We know how challenging raising a child with autism can be, but also acknowledging we wouldn't want it any other way. Just know you are not alone and you are part of a community of parents who understand and support you. Every small step is a victory that you should celebrate. With the help of our son, we wanted to provide your autistic child gifts that my son has found comforting through the years, that either helps promote increased language skills, helps address sensory issues, and or social interaction. My son, even though he is 14 years old, still has to carry around toys with him wherever he goes. So he thought something sex would be good for that purpose. He also still sleeps with stuffed animals, so he wanted to include that as well to hopefully the stay in an unfamiliar place. To hopefully make the stay in an unfamiliar place more manageable. Best wishes in your autism journey, the Wallace family. So I don't know who the Wallace family is. I don't know how the universe knew that this was meant for us, but I just thought that was very, very cool. And it really just shows that like we're all connected, and I like that. Number 3 of my good things for today is that Aaron Spencer's case was dismissed. What's the word for it? Aaron Spencer doesn't need to go to trial anymore. The judge said, this is bullshit, get out of here. I don't even know why we were here in the first place. Whatever the legal term for that is. Corey probably knows. But I think dismissed with prejudice. That's what it is. And I think a very important takeaway from Aaron Spencer's case being dismissed with prejudice is the fact that elections matter. Yes, Mitchell knows. This is the correct legal terminology. It was called flushed down the toilet, Your Honor. The elections matter. Like, Aaron Spencer ran for sheriff in his county, town, country, city, whatever you call it, over there. And the general public showed up and said, not only do we think that these charges are BS, we want him in charge. And that sends the message to a judge that if you're going to take the time to bring this to trial, the jury already voted for him. They already said, we appreciate this guy. We support this guy. Not only do we not think that he should go to jail, we want him in charge of us. And I think that goes a really long way. And that is Lonoke County. That's what it's called. That is such an important takeaway for all of us, because it can feel sometimes, especially in Norfolk County, that we don't have a lot of power and that the people in power are abusing their power. But we do. We actually have a lot of power, and we just need to harness that power and work together to make that power into something that can really make a difference. One more thing. Today was Superhero Day at Carter's school, and we only have Bluey stuff, and Bluey's not a superhero, so I didn't really know what to put him in. It's Spirit Week, and I like go all out for Spirit Week, and I was like, oh my God, I literally don't have any superhero stuff. But I did have an ACLU Future Voter shirt, so that's what I sent Carter to school in, because voting is a superpower, and it has the power to change the world and make a difference. I didn't explain that to his teachers, so they probably just thought like, oh, Carter didn't do Spirit Week today. But in my head, I had a bigger message for the world. And his teachers were so cute. They were all in their little superhero costumes. It was so cute. So that made me happy. Now to the heavy stuff. Hold on. Do I have to mute myself and take a sip of seltzer like Melanie Little does? I have a real microphone now. One of you guys who's fantastic sent me the cutest email and was like, Emily, like, I really like your show and I really like what you have to say, so please don't take this the wrong way, but you make this really annoying noise with your microphone all the time every time you hit it. And I was like, yeah, I do. So then I got a real microphone on like a stand. I probably still need to figure out this thing. Okay. First of all, thank you. We're not rereading it. That's the bottom line. Not rereading because it's gross. And all I have to say about, if you don't know what I'm talking about, which is basically probably only my mom who only watches my show and doesn't know what we're talking about, here's the TLDR. Michael Proctor and Sean Goode have been friends since they were kids. And they're big losers. They are, I said it made me laugh. They are losers. They are big, dumb, stupid losers. I wasn't really saying anything. I haven't gotten to the point yet. So don't worry about it. You didn't miss anything. Okay, to me, seeing those messages, and granted, and I don't say this in defense of them, I say this in we're going to learn even more. They're not even in context, they're just quotes. So there is a before and after and a response. And we don't, to be clear from that filing, it is not just back and forth between Goode and Proctor. That's what I went to go screenshot, and then I got grossed out and closed it. But there's a line in there that says that they were sending these to friend groups. Like, is Yuri Buchanan a friend? I think so, from what we've seen during the trial. So it's only going to get worse. We don't know the context yet. It's only going to get worse. Yes, that was the teaser, and what a teaser. It felt like we all collectively kind of had an idea of, like, there was that one page of Sean Goode just saying the C word a whole bunch of times, big C, little c, upside down C, lowercase c, uppercase C, whatever, all the fat C, skinny C. That was kind of more along the lines of what I was expecting. It was, we could not have even like, if somebody had said, like, I think that they're going to say, like, don't go to the scene of that accident because there was a Black person in the car and I think they should die, you would be like, whoa, okay. Like, if I had said that on Squirrel School, it would have been like, Emily, like, come on, like, they're gross and they're weird and they're bad, but, like, chill out. Like, no way. That is crossing the line. No, that is one of the text messages. I'm going to talk about this in a sec. Actually, I'll just talk about it now. There was a district attorney debate tonight in Canton. No, I did not go because I had Carter's, like, welcome to kindergarten night at his new school. So I couldn't go. I have the Canton Community TV website up. And it says on it right now, like, links coming soon to the actual footage of it. And they have a lot of typos on their website. Love you, Canton Community TV. You might want to run a little spell check on that. Not sure who's in charge. But if they post the video of the, it wasn't really like a debate. It was like a panel, I think. I would love to watch some of it. But back to how disgusting Proctor and Goode are. There's a few things I want to be really clear about. Number one, I don't even think this has to do with Karen Reed. And I think it's disingenuous for anybody online to be coming away with a conclusion about what happened to John O'Keefe based on any of these text messages. I have said from the very beginning on here, since I started this, that I'm not, like, in the business of making theories. Like, I will do it. I will, like, go back and forth and put some things together. But my goal on here has always been to talk about the, like, systems of power and how the systems failed in this case. And these text messages, this filing is the pinnacle of everything that I have been like ranting about up until now. We're not going to find out in these text messages, like I've been saying about FOIA too, we're not going to get a message that says like, hey, dude, want to head over to 34 Fairview in a little while and drop some taillight? Like, they're dumb, they're evil, they're disgusting, but they're not that stupid, I don't think. And they didn't need to do that for us to be able to know that they did that. But this isn't about that. This isn't about all the people online right now who are saying like, Proctor's text messages were disgusting, but no. If there was one like anti on Twitter right now that said Proctor's text messages were absolutely disgusting and I need to take a break for one night to like internalize them and to reflect on how that makes me feel about this investigation, I would respect everything about that person, because that is the only correct answer. If you're still going to be wrong, you could still be wrong and at least be smart about it. For all these people online who are saying, well, Proctor is disgusting, but you know what you don't see in those messages? You don't see evidence of a conspiracy. You know what you don't see? You don't see anything about Karen. Like, no, it's not about that. It is about the fact that the people that we entrust in our society, I pay their salary. I paid Michael Proctor's salary. As a society, we make these like agreements with each other where we say, okay, I want to live in a society that is like safe and free. And to do that, I'm actually going to give up some of my rights. I'm going to say, I will let you put me in handcuffs and put me in a jail cell if I drink a bottle of vodka and then go drive my car. I'm making that agreement with society where I'm saying, like, by living in this society, you have some of my freedom. And when we make those agreements with each other, there is a level of trust that's involved. And we're saying to those people in power, like, I trust you that this is what it's called, a social contract. I trust you that when you are hired by a system, the Massachusetts State Police, and you take an oath to the Massachusetts State Police, and you're given a gun that could take anybody's life at a moment's notice, and you're given a badge that can take anybody's freedom at a moment's notice, that you're going to be somebody that upholds that social contract. And they're not. And that is what, to me, the takeaway in all of these messages is. I think something that some people online need to understand is that bias is real. Like, it seems like some people don't understand like what bias is. So quickly, a quick little lesson on bias. There was an experiment done on teachers that really stuck out to me when I learned about it when I was very first starting teaching. And I put it in my, go away, Vince. I put it in, it like came into my brain all the time after this. So the study is basically that a whole bunch of teachers at the beginning of the school year were told, they were like pulled aside or however it was set up, and the researcher picked like 7 kids at random and were basically like, hey, like, I just want to let you know, like, you have these 7 kids and we put them in your class for a reason. They're gifted. They are very advanced for their age, and they have like so much potential. And we just wanted to let you know that like you have these special gifted kids in your class. They were completely chosen at random. There was no rhyme or reason for why those kids were identified or anything. And at the end of the school year, in every single one of the classrooms that this was done, the kids that were identified as like the gifted ones scored higher on their like final exams, however they assessed it, than the rest of the class. The teachers didn't know that they were like treating these kids any differently. They just had an expectation in their mind of what these 7 kids were going to be, and that is what they became. And when you have people in law enforcement that have an idea of what Black people are like, what Jewish people are like, what women are like, what even like, I would venture to say even like white men that are better than them, like just good guys. I don't even think their bias extends to like their own demographic. I think their bias literally includes like their little like incel weirdo, like grapey, disgusting losers. And that's about it. And I would even venture to say that if they saw a version of themselves that like wasn't a police officer, they probably talk down about that guy. So it literally only extends to like them. Like their bias is for themselves, and that's about it. And it impacts the way that they police, and it impacts the way that they uphold our laws, and it's not fair and it's disgusting. And anybody who is willing to say like those texts were disgusting but is not like a smart person that you can have a rational discussion with. Anyways, that's that. So that being said, I have some things I want to share. Let me just look at my little list and see if there was anything else I wanted to say before I share this. Oh, one other thing I did want to say from what I've seen on Twitter is a lot of these people that are making this argument that like what they saw today was somehow okay, or not, they're not saying like, oh, it's fine, but they're like, don't make such a big deal about it kind of thing. They don't live here. And I want to be very clear when I say that, because I am by no means saying that like you have to live in Norfolk County to care about this. I think the fact that we have people all over the world right now invested in making Norfolk County better is how change actually happens. It is very weird when there are a whole bunch of people in Norfolk County that are saying, I don't like this in my backyard. And then you have people in Indiana and Ohio and Arizona, I don't know where they all live, saying like, no, it's fine. Like, imagine if they had a pothole on their street and they were trying to get it fixed by their city. And I called up City Hall and I was like, don't fix that pothole. I like it. I want that pothole to stay. That's my favorite pothole in the world. That pothole doesn't affect me. I'm not hitting it every day when I leave my driveway. If you want to fix a pothole outside of your house, you should be able to go to City Hall and say, there's a pothole outside of my house, please fix it. And nobody else, anywhere else in the world, should be able to tell you that you shouldn't do that. If we, the taxpayers of Massachusetts, are on here screaming that we're not okay with what we read today, I do not understand how anybody anywhere else in the world is sitting there being like, no, I like it. They didn't plant taillight. They never said they planted taillights, so it's okay. Relax. Okay, what? It's weird. It's like super weird. it doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't make sense to me. God save the pothole of Indiana. I hope she gets a pothole outside of her house. Also, just one more thing. If you follow me on Twitter, then you already saw this, but I would like to just read you something that I tweeted earlier, because the feigned outrage at certain things and not others is getting to be a little ridiculous. So for anybody who might not remember, before Fervent made me the best outro of all time, my my outro of this show was my Hank's closing arguments video. And when I start the video, it is a parody of Hank Brennan. And if anybody remembers Hank Brennan's closing argument, at the very beginning of his closing argument, he kind of like looked at Peggy O'Keefe and did a little like, this one's for you. So I did that too in the video. And I said, John Keefe was 46 years old, which he did say. That is just quoting. And then I said, psst, Peg, don't forget to cry, because oopsies, you thought he was 45. Because when Peg O'Keefe was on the stand, she did, by accident, she was in a very stressful time, a very stressful moment, said that John O'Keefe was 45. It was just a joke, a little joke about a little tiny thing that happened in a long, arduous trial. And ever since that moment, that side of the internet has been saying that I vilified and degraded and all of these terrible things Peg O'Keefe. No, I did not. I wasn't making fun of her. I was not saying like, Peg, no. I was just making a joke about a little moment that happened in the trial. And this is what my tweet said. Last June, I made a parody video of Hank's closing argument in which I said, oopsies, you thought he was 45. Since then, 4 to 5 girls in a room have called me deliberately cruel and unconscionable, sadistic and atrocious, demonic, heartless, wretched, a trash bag human, one of the worst human beings in a sea of terrible human beings, brain dead, emotionally stunted, a pervert, a dumbass, an idiot, a batshit crazy victim trafficker, trash, evil, quote, xenophobia and historical and cultural ignorance on full display, gutter trash, a waste of time, a vile bully, a soulless human being, supporting hate and sadistic behavior, and more. Those are these same people that are saying, well, I don't support those text messages, but. No. You don't get to be like that. You don't get to just pick and choose, like, I like her, I don't like him, no. Again, we have a social contract here. Like, be consistent. If all that was in Proctor and Goode's phone was, oopsies, you thought he was 45, do you think that we would be talking about this at all? We'd be like, oh, that was a weird joke. And then we'd go back to our lives and we wouldn't all have stomach aches right now. So miss me with the whole feigned outrage. Now, here's what I want to do. I think it is very important in this moment of however many days out from the election, June, July, August, September, 3 months out from the DA's election. I think it is extremely important for us to tie every single thing that we saw today to Greg Conner. And I don't mean that in a strategy way. I mean that because it's true. So let's talk about this. Actually, let me address some of these that I have by accident been ignoring. Okay. Tortoise Interference just sent $9.99 and said, "Hi, Em. I was wondering if it is legal for a DA campaign to use volunteers from outside their district. I mean, other higher level politicians have done it or accepted money." Geez, I think so, right? Yeah, I think so. I might be wrong. You mean like to like make calls and help the campaign? Yeah. Emily, don't apologize for a joke. Okay, I'm not apologizing. I wasn't apologizing. So thank you. I'm sorry that they didn't understand the joke. I'm sorry that they are not as fun as we are. Hi, Sam. These people are only there to be contrarian. They are only there to go against all of us. They don't believe most of what they are saying to begin with. I believe that. And if Sam says it, then it's true. I think it's very weird, the type of people who, Vince, like to get any type of attention any way they can, whether it's positive or negative. I think that's just a personality type that I don't quite understand. I hardly like attention even when it's positive. So I don't quite get the appeal. But it is a personality trait that exists in people, and I feel like there are a lot of people on Twitter that have that. Discworld Edge Witch sent $5 and said, about anxiety, our brains try to be helpful. I know they're really trying. But sometimes they're helpful the way an outdoor cat is helpful when it brings you a dead bird. I feel like I need that on like wall art. I love that. Sometimes our brains are helpful the way an outdoor cat is helpful when it brings you a dead bird. That is so funny and so true. I love that. Wait, I literally want to put that on like a mug. Oh my God, that's so cute. Okay, that just made me really happy. Bite My Bits sent $5. Hi, Bite My Bits, and said, Norfolk can write voters about the DA primary, Deitch, etc. Yes. I don't know what that means. But yes. Norfolk, yeah. Tell everybody. This is what we're going to talk about now. Is we need to tell everybody. Yes, the local news is covering it, but this is the piece that they're missing, and this is what I want to tie together with a bow right now. The Proctor text messages story is very easy for like the general public to understand. Number one, there's a lot of people like in the general public that followed the Karen Reed trial. There's not a lot of like mental gymnastics that you have to do or players that you need to like place in the story to be able to be like, whoa, a police officer said whack job C word about the medical examiner and the defendant. Like, that's messed up. It's an easy story. The news likes easy stories, and maybe that's part of the reason why some people are dumb. It's a little bit harder to understand that the district attorney is tied to all of this, but it's not that hard. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. The current Norfolk, one more thing. My original idea like 5 hours ago when I decided I wanted to do this is I want to make a video that is like a Sam video where it's like, this is the point of this video. And I might even like not do it live and just like record it and make it something that Norfolk County voters can share with each other to be like, Proctor's texts are bad. and Morrissey enabled it, and Greg Connor backed that with receipts. But tonight is not that. Tonight is just a stream of consciousness. I say all that to say, Greg Connor, see how he's right back there on Morrissey's shoulder? Really symbolic of their relationship. Greg Connor has Michael Morrissey's back 110%. Sam is doing an analysis right now about of Greg Connor's interview on Note My Objection, and I cannot wait to see her break it down, because I feel like there was a lot that like intuitively I was kind of like, I know what you're saying right now, but Sam will do it with the expertise that she brings to that. The Norfolk County District Attorney's Office is a weird place. Oh, there's another one. Greg Connor has Michael Morrissey's back. Look at him back there, looking like a little cartoon. Both of them look like cartoon characters. And like cartoon characters kind of like trapped in between being like cute cartoon characters and evil cartoon characters. And that's what like makes them good at being evil, is they kind of just look like little like doofballs. But they're evil. Okay. So here's what you need to know. Hold on. Just one. We'll go back to that. This is the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. It's a pretty ugly building. Inside of that building is the district attorneys, the ADAs, the Lallies, the Law McLaws, the Greg Connors, the Michael Morrisseys, and sharing a bathroom with them are the Massachusetts State Police, the little goon squad of like Tully and Proctor and Yuri and Widow Baby Keefe and probably DeChico, even though for some reason he's like never there. They're all there together. They ride the elevator. They pull up their cars in the parking lot together. They stand at the water cooler together. They say, "Hey, how was your weekend, buddy?" There is no like differentiation in the office between them. They're doing different jobs, but when they're in the office, they're all just like buddies. Everybody who has an office job, or even not an office job, because honestly, when I was teaching, it was like this same thing. Think about how much you know about a random coworker that you have no business knowing anything about. Like when I was teaching, so I taught at a K-8 school. There was a ton of teachers. We had a bunch. There was like 4 teachers on every grade level. And then there was an associate teacher, which is like teacher in training kind of thing. The teachers in training, because they were like the young kids, they always had drama. It was like so-and-so and so-and-so like went out together this weekend and they were dating and now they're not and now they're this and now they're that. I knew so much about like the 8th grade associate teacher's social life. And I had never even talked to that little boy before in my life. When you work together with people, you know things about them. It just happens. It's like you overhear a conversation. You're like stuck in the elevator together. And so then you're like, "Hey, what'd you do this weekend?" "Oh, not much." Lawyer, did a breakdown of the filing today. And he was talking about the like legal definition of like, what did you know and how, what should you have known and how do you prove that like there's things legally that you should have known. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't have to do that. I promise you that all of them knew the type of person that Michael Proctor was. There is just no way that you work together with somebody for 10 years or however long he shouldn't have been there, and you don't know that loser is a disgusting, racist, sexist, misogynist, incel doof. There's just no way. I know that's not like legally the term or whatever, but no. They all knew. Miss me with the whole like, "Oh no, so in case you weren't sure if they all knew, here we go. From Pamela Alford, I don't know who that is, to Michael Morrissey, Adam Lally, Cece, Lama Glaw, Margaret Krippendorf, who sounds like another cartoon character, Greg Connor, Hank Brennan, and Lisa Beatty. Subject: R.E. meeting R.E. Proctor. Okay, would people be available at 1 p.m. today to discuss the issues as to Proctor's personal cell phone? Thank you, Pamela. I actually have the whole thing. Hold on. Doo-doo. The life of a Proctor. Okay. Thank you, Fervent, for having that song stuck in my head all the time at all times. From Hank Brennan, Tuesday, October 15th, 2024, to Lamaglaw, Crippy, Pamela, Morrissey, Adam Lally, CC, Greg Connor, CC, Lisa Beatty, RE meeting, RE Proctor. Yes, I can be there. So they had the meeting. I have a call at 2. Otherwise, I'm available at 1. Works for me, works for me, works for me. Yay. They had the meeting. I don't think that they had a meeting where they were like, RE meeting, RE Proctor, Proctor's personal cell phone. Like, what upgrade do you think Proctor should get? Do you think he should get the iPhone 11 or the iPhone 12C? I don't think that's what they were meeting about Proctor's phone. Do you guys? I wonder what they could have been talking about with regards to Proctor's phone. And I say that facetiously because just recently, Greg Connor went on with Catherine Loftus and talked about this.
You worked with him previously?
Yeah, I had worked with him. I mean, he was the case officer in Walsh.
Yeah. And did you ever have any indication of, I mean, because now what we're hearing, obviously it's sort of.
Did I have any indication that he was a misogynist? No. Had he ever used those words in front of me? No.
I mean, you know,
I saw him as a trooper that would investigate cases, and I had the opportunity to meet his wife and his kids at a Halloween party. So he seemed like a guy who loved his wife and kids. So that's what I knew about him.
That's what I knew about him. All I knew about him was that he loved his wife and kids because I saw them at a Halloween party. And did I know he was a misogynist? Can we listen to that one more time?
You worked with him previously?
Yeah, I had worked with him. I mean, he was the case officer in Walsh.
Yeah. And did you ever have any indication of, I mean, because now what we're hearing, obviously it's sort of.
Did I have any indication that he was a misogynist? No. Had he ever used those words in front of me? No.
I mean.
Okay. So I'm going to do some not informed lie detection. So this might be not right. But if you're saying, did I have any indication that he was a misogynist? No. And we know for a fact that that's a lie. Then that next part, when he says, did he ever use those words in front of me? No. I'm pretty sure he did use those words in front of you. I bet you used some of them back to him. I mean, Greg seems like somebody that like Proctor would be like, dude, like blah, blah, blah. And then Greg would be like, yeah, man. And then he'd be like, just mimicking back the gross things that Proctor. I don't think Greg like initiated it, but he seems like he just wants to be loved by anybody and would maybe just say the things that are like cool in the moment. And Proctor thinks that's cool.
And you know,
I saw him as a trooper that would investigate cases, and I had the opportunity to meet his wife and his kids at a Halloween party. So he seemed like a guy who loved.
I saw him as a trooper that would investigate cases. What does that even mean? Like, what? That's not even a compliment. That's not even like, I saw him as a trooper that would investigate cases. What? Okay. I saw him as a trooper. Okay. I mean, he didn't. Also, like, he's talking about the Walsh case right there. Proctor only got 1.5 search warrants out of 6 of them to hand over for the trial. Walsh should be so mad at Proctor. Greg Conner should be so mad at Proctor. Walsh should have been happy. Walsh would have almost gone free if it wasn't for Judge Frenier being like a badass and being like, actually, like, I realize that like Proctor sucks, but like we actually like, can't let you out of jail because you did chop up your wife. So even though Proctor sucks, like I'm not a Proctor defender. Conner should be furious. Like he literally almost lost the easiest slam dunk case on earth because of Michael Proctor. So I don't even know what I knew him as someone who would investigate cases. He didn't even investigate. Also, he didn't even investigate Brian Walsh's mom. And I will die on that hill. Anyways, in my opinion, whatever else you're supposed to say so that it's not defamatory. This man, Greg Conner, is tied to all of this. He knew about all of it. He didn't stand up to it. He didn't say no to it. And now he wants to continue the status quo. He wants to take over the office so that nobody finds out the depth of how long this has been going on for, how many cases this has impacted. He doesn't want his personal text messages getting out. He doesn't want to be connected to all of this because if you go too deep, he will be. And he wants to be the one in charge to protect himself and his friends. And that is literally the definition of corruption, I think. Here's what I need to do right now. We need to take a fervent break because Proctor Defender is now stuck in my head. It's been 1 hour and I need to drink water. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about all of the ways that Greg Conner is tied to all of this so that then we can make sure that it's not just our little corner of the internet that's smart and cool and fun and knows this stuff, but that all of the voters in Norfolk County do. So please enjoy this fervent break, and then we'll be back.
Life of a Proctor defender. Send some text that might offend you. Lose your gun while you're out on a bender. That's the life of a Proctor defender. That's the life of a Proctor defender. That's the life of a Proctor defender. I don't even know why this is in the news. All of y'all are acting like prudes. Who doesn't like looking at nudes and sharing those nudes with the whole damn crew? Don't come at me with quid pro quo. I love that man, no homo. Not one text that he planted evidence. That means that it is so evident there's no corruption, so what's the relevance? The feds found nothing except for these messages. They say there was a conflict of interest, but really we all had a common interest. Frank, Karen, Reed, and we're in the clear. Then work with Kev on a cold case of beer. The life of a Proctor defender. Send some text that might offend you. Lose your gun while you're out on a bender. That's the life of a Proctor defender. That's the life of a Proctor defender. That's the life of a Proctor defender. Please judge, don't let these texts out. He's been through enough and he's really stressed out. He's got Kerry Roberts backing him up, got Matt McKay backing him up, the district attorney backing him up, and Yuri, yeah, he gave a thumbs up. How about the Emmy? Not so much. How about the laws of physics? Not so much. How about Michael Easter? Not so much. How about common sense? Definitely not. The silent majority aren't on Twitter. For my man Chip, my hands on the trigger. Today in Canton, it's time to kill some.
No, sorry, Proctor, I can't say that.
The life of a Proctor defender. Send some text that might the line, I call her a whack job. Then I wonder why I got fired from my last job. All these Twitter trolls say I'm looking like a fat slob. Tell the FKR crew they're gayer than the flash mob. If I go to jail, please pick the right cellmate, cause I probably pissed off every single inmate. They say orange is the new black, and as you know, I don't really like black. I can't help that, they annoy me. The only hood I like is white and pointy. Oh!
Okay, Jesus, Bear, please step away from the mic. White and pointy.
Stop, you're making it worse. It's hard to defend you sometimes. The life of a Proctor defender.
Up into my office, got you flowers and some chocolate. I don't really do this often, but I think we need some talking. First off, is it Deva or Diva? I think I have liver fever, but before we take this deeper, I need to know if you're a keeper. What did you see in the salad bowl? Are you sure it's something you need to report? I got an idea, I hope you agree. How about you blame it on a false memory? When the feds came, why did you sing? You should've knew better and gave me your ring. Know this and know this only before you go and give your testimony. Officer Deva, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Oh, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Oh, do the right thing. Don't get it twisted, this ain't a bribe, but if you tell the truth, there goes that 9 to 5. No more 6-figure salary. If you say what you saw on that Sally Port screen, I have your back. Unless they ask me some questions, I'll have your back. Until I throw you under the bus, I'll have your back. Let this be a lesson, I'll have your back. Really means I won't have your back. When the feds came, why did you sing? You should've knew better and gave me your ring. Know this and know this only before you go and give your testimony. Officer Deva, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Oh, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Oh, do the right thing. Unfortunately, Kelly, you're the only one going down. There won't be a public records lawsuit that'll expose me or anything.
Okay, I'm back. I think. Hold on. Everybody go but comment and but subscribe to Fervent, please and thank you. Okay. So to be clear, the next part of this stream of consciousness of my brain is to prove that Michael Morrissey has known the depravity that we all just became aware of today forever and has covered it up, excused it, allowed it, condoned it, encouraged it, whatever. That part I don't have all the answers to. I don't know why. I have a lot of questions, but Greg Conner is Michael Morrissey. So anything that Michael Morrissey did is Greg Conner's doing too, because they've worked together for the entire time that Michael Morrissey has been in office since 2010. And you don't get to just suddenly in the last 3 months be like, well, actually, I don't really agree with some of the things that he did. No. If you didn't agree with them, you should have been speaking out a long, 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 long time ago. If you didn't agree with them, You should have been shouting from the rooftop, something is very, very wrong here. If you didn't agree with him, then when he sent letters like this one that I'm going to read, you should have been like, don't do that. So this is from June 1st, 2023, and it's a response from the Office of Professional Responsibility to Michael Morrissey. And this is what it says. Dear Mr. Morrissey, the Office of Professional Responsibility received your May 18th, 2023 letter requesting that the Office of Professional Responsibility investigate the decision by the United States Attorney's Office for the District of Massachusetts, USAO, to subpoena individuals who are witnesses in your pending state prosecution, Commonwealth versus Reed, to testify before the grand jury in an ongoing federal investigation. You stated that the USAO's investigation is, quote, possibly an abusive exercise of power and likely based, quote, only on defendant Karen Reed's, quote, specious claims of, quote, witness and police misconduct. I like how that is like so much shade coming from the Office of Professional Responsibility. They're like, so you said this and you sounded really stupid and we're going to quote you on it. In addition to an investigation of the USAO's investigative decision, you requested an OPR transfer, that OPR transfer the USAO's pending investigation to another office, quote, without a history of conflict, bias, and abuse of prosecutorial discretion. OPR has jurisdiction to investigate allegations of misconduct involving Department of Justice attorneys that relate to the exercise of their authority to investigate, litigate, or provide legal advice, as well as allegations of misconduct by law enforcement personnel that are related to allegations of attorney misconduct within the jurisdiction of OPR. However, it is the policy of this office to refrain from investigating such issues or allegations if an active investigation is ongoing or litigation is pending. With regard to your request that another office be assigned to the pending grand jury investigation, a matter outside OPR's jurisdiction, OPR forwarded your complaint to the Executive Office for United States Attorneys for whatever action it deems appropriate. Further inquiry. They're basically like, okay, we took your request, we put it in the request jar. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. We're going to keep doing the work that we were planning to do before you just showed your ass to us and proved that you're protecting the witnesses. Again, just to be perfectly clear, Greg Connor is Michael Morrissey. Michael Morrissey is Greg Connor. There is no sunlight between the two of them. We're going to get to that a little bit later. Number one, that was that. Number two, I was searching. I'm just going to read you a bunch of things now. I was searching for an article or like something to share that like explains the, look at me so little up there and just me and a chalkboard. I was searching for an article or like something to explain the like, what word am I looking for? Like the way that the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office is set up with that like embedded police force. And I found an article that is so much more than I was even wanting. And I want to share that with you now. This is an article from November 20th, 2024 that was then updated on January 14th, 2025. And now we're just sitting in silence. Hello, everybody. I think it touches on everything that this district attorney's office did wrong, and I would like to read it to you. Please get comfy and enjoy. The title of the article from NBC10 Boston says, "Questions about Massachusetts' system to investigate murder cases pile up. Is a change on the horizon?" Well, it was written almost 2 years ago and nothing's happened, so depends how you define horizon. We're chipping away at it. As part of NBC10 Boston's Commonwealth Confidential series, we are looking into how Massachusetts investigates use of deadly force by law enforcement. Scrutiny over Massachusetts State Police's handling of murder investigations has boiled over in the past year. The Karen Reed murder trial and the Sandra Birchmore case, only recently classified as a homicide because the federal government stepped in, have garnered headlines across the region and the nation. Those cases reignited passions for Jennifer Root Bannon, who lost her brother in an officer-involved shooting in February 2020. A Massachusetts State Police trooper was one of the responding officers to fire a weapon that day. Root Bannon, so Jennifer Root Bannon, left her job in private equity in 2018 to become a part-time real estate manager. When her brother, Justin Root, was shot and killed by 5 Boston police officers and a state trooper, she shifted her focus once again, this time to a cause close to her heart. How come, does your guys' computers do this too? When you oh my God, when you put a window too far to the side, it just decides you want it to be full screen. I didn't want that. Justin Root, 41 years old, was leaving Massachusetts Mental Health Center in Boston near Brigham and Women's Hospital, where he frequently received treatment for his schizoaffective disorder, which involves symptoms of both schizophrenia and a mood disorder. Boston police received a call from hospital security claiming Root was armed. Ultimately, the object in question was only a paintball marker, a law enforcement investigation found. In surveillance video obtained by NBC10 Boston, a Boston police officer who encountered Root on the sidewalk reacted when it appeared Root was pulling out a pew-pew. He stumbled back and fell off a curb. The officer fired his weapon, striking Root and a hospital security employee in the area. Injured, Root got into his car and drove away. Police pursued him and the chase picked up speed before Root eventually crashed along Route 9 in Brookline near a shopping plaza. Something I want to say about where this happened is so Norfolk County has very weird county lines. We also have 2 islands basically. So where normal county lines would just be drawn this area is Norfolk County, and then this area is Middlesex County, and this area is Essex County. For some reason, Norfolk County was we'll be this area of corruption right here, Norfolk County, and then we also want Brookline, which is over here, and Cohasset, I think, is our other island. It's our Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard. And I only say that because it is, knowing what we know about Norfolk County, it is really unfortunate that this little tiny strip of Route 9 is Brookline. Anybody who doesn't know the area, I'm probably not making sense at all. But basically, Route 9 connects in this spot Newton to Chestnut Hill to Boston. Newton and Chestnut Hill are both Middlesex County. And then there's this little tiny 3-block stretch of Route 9 that happens to be Brookline. And that is where this occurred. And that is why it fell into the jurisdiction of the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. And that sucks. Anyways, and it is devastating. And I actually had messaged, before I even found this article, I had messaged Just en Route's sister a couple of days ago and asked if we could like chat to bring his story kind of like back into the conversation, because I think his story is just as important as Sandra Birchmore's and Karen Reed and John O'Keefe's, in the fact that there hasn't been justice for Just en Route, and the fact that it really highlights everything bad about the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, aka Michael Morrissey, aka Greg Conner. Anyways, so they're on this little stretch of Norfolk County Island. And then it goes on to say, and also just, this is all weird to me too. I grew up like literally where that is. So like where the CVS is and the gas station is right there. There's like a movie theater. Then there's the Chestnut Hill Mall. And then there's the exit to where I grew up. So my house is right there. And this is just weird for this to be like in my back. It's like, I don't know how to, it's just a weird feeling where it's like, can this injustice not be happening like right where we live? Okay, it says traffic camera video shows Root stumbling out of the damaged car and limping down the sidewalk, leaving a trail of blood. As he approached a bed of mulch, a bystander who happened to be an emergency medical technician ran toward Root to provide care. Now, I feel like this happens in a lot of stories where it's like the police want to say that they're scared, but a random unarmed civilian was not scared. A random unarmed civilian saw a person in need and assessed the situation and said, this is not somebody who's going to hurt me. This is somebody I can help. I'm going to go help them. Moments later, 6 armed law enforcement officers swarmed the scene. Body cam footage shows police commanding the EMT to run from the area. So this unarmed civilian who had the knowledge and ability to help Just en Route ran to go help him. And then the 6 people who arrived that are supposed to help told the person helping to run from the area. Again, going back to the social contract, like we made a social contract with these 6 police officers. Hey, I will give you a gun and badge, and in exchange for that, you will protect me and keep me safe. I made that social contract. Just en Route made that social contract. And then it says, within seconds of shouting commands, the officers opened fire, shooting Route 31 times at close range. No, that is not what the social contract says. The social contract says that I give you gun and badge, you protect me. Not, I give you gun and badge and you use that to take my life. No, just no. I don't subscribe to that. No. He died after being transported to the hospital. And also, you should know that area on Route 9 is like, you can throw a stone to every one of the best hospitals in America. It's like Longwood is like the next stop on the T, basically, from there. So if you were ever going to have a chance to survive anything, that is the place. That is that Longwood area that's like a stone's throw is why so many people that were injured at the Boston Marathon survived, because they were that close to the best hospitals in America and they were able to get the best help. They didn't even give Just en Route a chance. The body cam is obscured and does not show Root's actions in the moments before shooting, only the yelling from officers and the subsequent sound of gunfire. A month later, Boston police officers Joseph McMenemy, David Goode, Leroy Fernandez, Brenda Figueroa, and Corey Thomas, and Massachusetts State Police Trooper Paul Connealy. There's too many letters in that name. And there's too many N's and E's and not enough L's. Connealy. The 6 who shot and killed Root were all cleared by the Norfolk County District Attorney Michael Morrissey, aka Greg Connor, who ruled the fatal use of force was justified. Let's just open that in a new window and check that out later. Quote, anyone that has a 30-day death investigation should be questioned. I can tell just from the onset that they weren't interested in the truth. They were interested in exonerating those officers, just on Root's sister said. Everything down to their interviews filled with leading questions. When asked how her brother's case should have been handled, she emphasized her desire for an independent investigation. Heaven forbid. I just realized it was really small for you guys, and now I made it worse. The investigation they did was pathetic. I mean, I was like in shock. I like reading it. I didn't even know that a lot of times law enforcement investigates themselves, she said. So it's not that we're never going to get a transparent investigation when we have that sort of closeness. We have to have people outside of Massachusetts law enforcement taking a look. A spokesperson for the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office said the decision to rule the shooting justified has been upheld on appeal in federal court. Let's just open that and save that for later. Quote, no new evidence has been presented to the office at this time that would warrant a reevaluation of the findings, the statement said. Okay. No new evidence. How about the original evidence? That seems like that should have been enough. Who needs new evidence when the first evidence was just fine to show that what they did was wrong? I don't need new evidence. NBC10 Boston. Mizzy makes a phenomenal point. Let that sink in. 30 days. How long did they investigate rubber duckies? Those super dangerous, terrible, awful. They made Colin so scared that he had to go join the army because he was so scared of the duckies. All the little duckies said Colin was in the house and he was having a lot of nightmares because he saw a ducky on a bench. And it said Colin was in the house and he said, no, I wasn't in the house because I have a screenshot. Yeah, he was so scared. He was so scared that he has to go drive a tank now. Yeah. Remember when not just how long they investigated rubber duckies? Remember there were transcripts, there were recordings. They had a full transcript, every single word. They had a full, we arrived at the house at 2:07 p.m. I took my left foot out of the car first and then my right foot. I closed the door with my left hand and I heard it slam. And then I walked 7 steps up to the front door of the evil ducky lady's house. And then they're like, we went to Jen McCabe's and she said it was Karen. And we were like, okay, cool. Just en route is white. That's a good question. Sorry. Okay. NBC10 Boston teamed up with journalism students at Boston University's College of Communication for a deeper dive into the state police. Also, I like that. The students got a hands-on experience. I really like that. Okay. In an in-depth reporting class taught by NBC10. Oh my gosh, I didn't read this through. Clearly, this is a cold read for me. NBC10 Boston investigator Ryan Kath is also teaching a class at the Boston University College of Communication. How cool is that? We explored the culture inside the academy, how murders are investigated in Massachusetts, concerns about lack of transparency, complaints about racial and gender discrimination, and what it will take to restore public trust. I want to take this class. Also, I just did that stupid thing again where it just made it full screen. Good Lord. Okay. Wait, can you just like audit a class? I want to go take that class. Everybody who's running for district attorney should be required to take this class. We explored the culture inside the academy, how murders are investigated in Massachusetts, concerns about lack of transparency, complaints about racial and gender discrimination, and what it will take to restore public trust. I wonder if anybody who took that class wants to come on here and teach me what they learned about that last part. What will it take to restore the public trust? I don't know, Adam Deitch. That would restore my public trust. Homicides in Massachusetts are always investigated at the county level through 11, quote, separate siloed units, as criminal justice journalist Susan Zalkind puts it. Each unit, this is what led me to this article in the first place. Each unit has state police detectives embedded within district attorneys' offices, with a 12th unit at the Attorney General's office. Quote, Massachusetts is unique. Unique is one word. Stupid might be another one. Let's see. Let's reread the sentence both ways and see which one makes it hit home more. Massachusetts is unique in that we are the only state in New England and one of the only states in the country that doesn't have a top-tier centralized unit for investigating murder. Now let's change unique. Massachusetts is stupid in that we're the only state in New England and one of the only states in the country that doesn't have a top-tier centralized unit for investigating murder. I don't know. Stupid works better for me. Zalkind, author of the book, quote, Waltham Murders. Oh, you guys, I have connection to that. I'll tell you that story another time. Has previously delved into the Middlesex County District Attorney's Office's handling of the investigation of a triple homicide in 2011 and its similarities in the lack of transparency with the high-profile Karen Reed case. Do you guys know the story of the Waltham murders? I'm not going to get sidetracked, but there's a connection between what happened, that triple homicide in Waltham, and the Boston Marathon bombing. And it's too long of a story to tell. No. We should talk about that sometime. There is a lot to that. Maybe I'll read that book. Ooh, maybe we can do like a book club. Okay. She points to the fact that the DA was not looking into Tamerlan Tsarnaev as a suspect, Tamerlan Tsarnaev of the Boston Marathon bombing, though his names surfaced repeatedly related to the Waltham murders. A year and a half later, federal authorities named Tsarnaev as a prime suspect in the Boston Marathon bombing in 2013. He was killed while on the run from authorities by his own brother by accident. Also, sometime we should talk about how, it was like so great that literally every cop in Massachusetts was there to get the Boston Marathon bombers. And you know what? They couldn't. And I know I want to make this very clear. I support law enforcement when they're doing when they're doing good. And I guess in the end, we are safer now from the investigation that they did. It was all public citizen, like you and me, that got Johar and Tamerlan Tsarnaev. It was a tip from a car in Cambridge. It was a tip from a guy about his boat in his backyard. The one of the two of them took the other one out. The cops didn't do very much. They unloaded a whole lot of gunfire. They got so lucky that they did not hurt an innocent person, because every single cop in Massachusetts unloaded their gun that night in a tiny little packed street. And by some miracle, they didn't do anything stupider. But yeah, it was the general public that caught the Boston Marathon bombers. And probably also some good policing along the way, but not clear who that was. This case and others highlight the problem that district attorneys' offices have had with investigating homicides in siloed environments susceptible to small-town conflicts of interest. Did we see any of that in Karen Reid's trial? Small-town conflicts of interest? I don't know, some second families? Conflicts of interest are a frequent concern when district attorneys investigate law enforcement's use of deadly force. You want to know why? Because they're embedded in the office and they're besties and they share a bathroom together and their desks are next to each other and they drive up in the parking lot together and they say, hey, what are you ordering for lunch? I'm going to DoorDash. Do you want anything? Hey, I'm going out to Dunkin' Donuts. Can I get you anything? They're friends, they're colleagues, they're coworkers, they're buddies. We contacted the Middlesex County District Attorney's Office, Marian Ryan, and a spokesperson responded by explaining that her office adopted judicial inquests for officer-involved shootings in 2018. According to Ryan's office, these inquests ensure that, quote, conclusions of fact and law are made by an impartial third-party legal expert and fact finder. Ryan was not the district attorney at the time of the Waltham homicides. Her spokesperson added, the case remains open and active. Now, just to be clear, I think that's a good thing that Marian Ryan did. I don't know much about what they're talking about there, but it almost sounds like she was not embedded in the office when it happened in the first place, and she was kind of an outsider that came in and made a big change, and that makes things better. And it seems like we need that in Norfolk County. Hold, please. Massachusetts homicide clearance rates prove there's no reason to change the approach, state police supporters say. You know how embarrassing that is? Like, what? Oh, because we cleared the... You get it wrong. You get so many things wrong all the time. Dude, all I see in Norfolk County is just wrong. Stefan Diggs, wrong. Penny McGee, wrong. Karen Reid, wrong. Turtle Boy, wrong. You're wrong about all. What do you mean your clearance rates? Just because you write it on the board and you're like, cleared it, check, cleared it, check. It doesn't mean what? Okay. According to data obtained from the state police, we gave ourselves a 94. We gave ourselves an A. 94% of homicides have been solved by these detective units over the past 5 years. No, I don't believe that. The national, you guys, hold on. Again, this is a cold read. This is so embarrassing. Like, if you're a kid and you're cheating and like you're supposed to be like a D student and then you get an A, your teacher will be like, you cheated. If you're a D student and then you cheat and like you give yourself a C+, your teacher might not be so suspect. According to data obtained from state police, 94% of homicides have been solved by these detective units over the past 5 years. The national average hovers around 50. The Massachusetts State Police are doing 44.4% better than the national average. Well, we are like a beacon. Other states and counties and countries and planets must be reaching out to the Massachusetts State Police then. Like, are they the ones to watch? Like they're the ones that people go to and they're like, if you ever want to know how to be a great police officer, go to the Massachusetts State Police. Model yourself after them. I don't know. Is there like an NYPD in here that can confirm that? They must be looking at it. We're 44.4% better than everybody else. Like, there must be like towns across the country that have Michael Proctor's picture up on their wall because he's one of the best ones. Like, we're that much better than miss me with that. Okay. But it's important to point out that, quote, solved is defined as an arrest being made or an arrest warrant being granted for the suspect. Oh, so like Karen Reed's case was solved, John O'Keefe's case was solved, and Penny McGee's case was solved. You just got an arrest? No wonder that's... That's like saying like, oh, I won the like Indy 500 because I turned my car on. Like, no, you have to cross the finish line first. What? Oof. For example, the Reed case is considered solved, even though she's awaiting a second trial next year. Birchmore's case was never classified by state authorities as a murder case. So like, nobody likes loopholes, any kind of loopholes at all whatsoever. Nobody likes loopholes. Nobody likes the not classified as a homicide loophole. Already considered solved loophole. Just nobody likes loopholes. Federal authorities later intervened and accused former Stoughton police officer Matthew Farwell of murdering Birchmore because he did, and staging her death to look like a suicide because he did. Farwell remains in federal custody after waiving his detention hearing. Let's add one more sentence to that says, according to the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, he's still free as a bird. He's still just could be behind you at Dunkin' Donuts tomorrow if it was up to Michael Morrissey. Quote, if we can't protect... Okay, hold on. I just had to like scan ahead a little to see who was talking, and it's Juna Perkins. I'm going to read it the way that she said it, but like, can we have some finesse, empathy? Okay. If we can't protect some 23-year-old pregnant woman, what? Juna. Okay. If we can't protect some 23-year-old pregnant woman who's been groomed and sexually abused by a police officer for years, what are we doing? I agree with your idea. Okay. Don't like that, Juna. Juna. It's just Juna, right? I like the way Nurse Kim says Juna, though. We don't have a criminal justice system because that is not justice. I agree with that part. Said Juna Perkins, former chief of the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office Domestic Violence Unit. That was a weird way to phrase something when you have experience in the domestic violence unit. Quote, so I'm kind of in the school that when you see a problem out there, you roll up your sleeves and you go and fix it. Okay. She sounds weird. I actually would like to talk to her maybe, or I'll just listen to her at the DA debate. Perkins now heads her law practice. She's troubled by what she has seen from the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office and plans to run against Morrissey. Now she is. The Birchmore death investigation tipped her over the edge, even though she doesn't quite know how to talk about it at that point. Massachusetts State Police initially investigated and did not pursue charges against the ex-Stoughton police detective Matthew Farwell, even though he was the last person to see Birchmore alive and the pair exchanged thousands of graphic text messages. Well, he wasn't just the last person to see Birchmore alive. He was the last person that was with her until he murdered her, but okay. The intense scrutiny surrounding high-profile cases is part of a larger cultural trend of police distrust, according to Associate Professor and Department Chair of Criminology at Mount Wachusett Community College, James Bigelow, who had a 24-year career with the Massachusetts State Police. Bigelow worked multiple positions, including being a detective assigned to the Worcester County District Attorney's Office and retired as a lieutenant. He told us he loved his career and would have done it for free. So cute. Expressing frustration about the negative public sentiment about the state's largest law enforcement agency. So when people are just frustrated about the negative public sentiment, you're missing the point. Like, Julie Carpenter gets mad about little things for no reason, but like the public doesn't usually just get like super riled up for no reason. It actually takes a lot to like rile people up. Like, I'm trying really hard right now to like shout from the rooftops that like we should be fired up about Greg Conner being Michael Morrissey and Michael Morrissey being bad. And it's probably going to get through to like 1 to 5 people. And if this person is looking at the general public and they're feeling negative about the state's largest law enforcement agency, maybe it's because there's a problem with the state's largest law enforcement agency. And maybe the problem isn't that the people are mad. Maybe it's that you're making the people mad. And like, maybe you need to not. Just saying. The problem is when something goes sideways, it's newsworthy. And it is. Oh, this is like one of those like Proctor's text messages were bad, but. And so you've got one situation where it looks bad. Well, what about the other 2,300 guys on the state police that are out there every day doing the right thing? It's not newsworthy. Right. What? Yeah. I would like the one that's doing the newsworthy stuff, the Proctors of the world, to be like all 2,300 other of the guys that you say are all doing the right thing. What? Like, this is embarrassing. Also, it's just as embarrassing as this backwards quotation mark. Why does that feel so embarrassing? It's like, oops, you're facing the wrong way. Turn around. Silly. Wait, I wanted to zoom in on that embarrassing. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Where did it go? Like, the problem is when something goes sideways. I mean, this, granted, just to be very clear, this is not about what happened today. This was written in 2024. But back then in 2024, we had the intro lesson to Proctor's texts. So we had a Proctor 101 already. So something going sideways is like Proctor saying like she's a whack job C word and a leaky balloon knot and all that. That's the sideways. Okay. So you've got one situation where you have like one officer talking about leaky balloon knots, but what about the 2,300 other guys in the state police that are not talking about leaky balloon knots? It's not newsworthy. Yeah, I would like none of you to be newsworthy. You want like a parade, like, oh, little baby Keefe went to work today. Regarding the system that assigns state police detectives to district attorneys' offices, Bigelow doesn't think there is a better way. Remember, we're the best. We're 44.4% better than everybody else. Quote, we have the experience and the resources that just no other agency does. These resources include, quote, a nationally accredited crime lab. Anybody out there? Can anybody out there raise their hand and tell the class about our nationally accredited crime lab? I don't know. Did they maybe like make a Netflix series called How to Fix a Drug Scandal? What was that? What was that called? Yeah. Cool crime lab. Cool crime lab doing crime. Yeah. What was that show called? How to fix a drugs. What was it? It was one of the like only shows I've seen. I don't even know the name of it. Oh, these resources, you guys, like we have drones. Like, yeah, Annie Dukin. Also, like kids have drones. I was like throwing rocks at the pond with Carter the other day, and there were like 2 kids with how to fix a drug scandal. Thank you, Double M99. I like saying your name too. Yeah, I saw some kids at the pond the other day that also had drones. You're not like that cool. Okay, so you have a nationally embarrassed crime lab. You have drones. We have units specializing in different crimes. What? We have units specializing in different crimes. Like what? Just this is one unit for one crime. This is one for a different crime. And if you go down that hallway, if you take that to second door on the left, that's our unit for a different crime. Additionally, he disagrees that an independent agency would provide more expertise in cases. This is like so embarrassing. Additionally, he disagrees that an independent agency would provide more expertise in cases such as those of Root, Reed, and Birchmore, because you guys are doing such a great job with those. Nobody could do it better. And he disputed the notion that conflict of interest frequently arises in death investigations. Like you're just simping for the police. Okay. Quote, oopsies, another quotation mark going the wrong way. So silly. Does an independent agency have the expertise and the package that we can bring? I'm sorry. Nobody was talking about your package. I don't think so. Who is he talking? Who is he talking? He's just talking to himself. Does an independent agency have the expertise and the package we can bring? I don't think so. What a dweeb. I bet he's bald. Not that there's anything wrong with being bald. I just can picture it. We should look him up. I'm going to look him up in a second. And truly, there's nothing wrong with being bald. It's just, they do bald in like a weird way. Like bald can look good. And then they do it like so smooth, so shiny, so shellacked. I don't see the conflict as something that recurs over and over. It's very rare. And in my experience, it's addressed appropriately. Okay. Like we only have like a conflict sometimes. So like it's not a big deal. According to Massachusetts State Police spokesperson Tim McGurk, the primary benefit of the current system is the close coordination between prosecutors and investigators to make decisions together about investigative efforts, direction, and strategies. This is an adorable idea. And like if humans weren't so human-y, yeah, I think that's what I was talking about. Like if like people didn't do people things, then like Tim McGurk is exactly right. Like the system that Massachusetts has is perfect if people were not prone to being bad. And if they were not like enticed by power, and if they didn't do things like all the bad things that we saw in Proctor's text today. So unfortunately, as cute as that is, that like he wants to live in my rainbows and butterflies and sunshine world, even I know that that's not reality. And so you can't just do that. He added that the system provides each district attorney with a team of dedicated, high-quality death investigators. That sounds so... I thought we were just talking about all crime. While allowing them to request personnel with expertise in their other priority areas, such as SA, cybercrime, human trafficking, and narcotics-related investigations. Why do they all talk so weird? Like, why did you highlight? What a weird way to say, like, we have a lot of good people that specialize in a lot of different things. Why did you highlight that? Okay. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey, everybody's favorite person, made a splash in October when she hired Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Noble of the New Jersey State Police as the leader of Massachusetts State Police. This was the first time an outsider, boo hiss, was appointed to this position. What are your guys' thoughts on Noble so far? Noble comes from a state where officer-involved shootings are investigated by an independent agency, a policy adopted in 2019. Well, why would they do that? If Massachusetts is 44.4% better than everybody else, why would they adopt a policy that we don't use? We're the best. Before that law took effect, law enforcement involved shootings were investigated at the county level, just like in Massachusetts today. But Massachusetts is 44.4% better than everybody else, so why would they want to change away from what we do? Now that the Attorney General's Office of Public Integrity and Accountability investigates fatal police encounters in New Jersey, the office feels it, quote, helps promote transparency, fairness, and justice for all. Amen. Well, that all just sounds like some cheesy talking points, and I don't know if it actually works. It's probably better because we don't do it. Okay, let's see. What do you guys think about Noble? Curiously Concerned said, Noble seems like he wants to do the right thing, but I don't know if he has the balls to piss people off because the change that needs to happen is going to piss people off. Yeah, but like, it's the kind of thing where, and I feel like I'm just getting more comfortable with this as like on a personal level. When you piss off the right people, it's okay. Like, you don't want to piss off the like good, that we don't want him to piss us off because we're right. But if you piss off the people that are like, think that a tail light can bite, I think that's okay. So, Noble, you have permission to piss the dummies off. Cusco writes no thoughts on Noble. He made a very sanitized comment on the Goode Proctor text today. Yeah, we should pull that up. Also, the Canton police was like, we didn't even know that was coming. What? Where'd that come from? We didn't even know there was a lawsuit. Ooh, Dexter Save Us from the Commonwealth is literally trying to save us from the Commonwealth. I called MSP and spoke with Noble's assistant this morning, freaking out about the tech. Wait, tell us more. You're so awesome. Dexter Save Us from the Commonwealth is really going to save us from the Commonwealth. What a good idea. Tortoise Interference said, I can't believe they answered the phone. Yeah. Because they probably thought it was like one, like, they're probably so used to having like Michael Morrissey calling and being like, what's going on? I was on the toilet and I just saw the news. What's happening? I'll email you from Cheesy Banana. Bye. They probably weren't expecting you. Emily, are you all keyed up and can't sleep like me? Yes, that is exactly. Exactly. Okay, wait. Card. Okay. Back to this. New Jersey's process includes a, quote, conflict check, in which the independent investigative team determines whether there are any actual or potential conflicts of interest in a case. I wonder what they would have thought about Proctor's second family. Queen of Hearts Charnel said, Emily, there is an entire book about choosing good over evil. It's called the Bible. There's also a show called The Good Place. Everybody should watch it. Sometime I'm going to do members only, and I'm just going to babble your ears off about how good The Good Place and Bluey are. Okay. If a conflict exists, the attorney general either removes the conflicted individual or assigns a new investigative team to handle the matter. Wow. It's almost like Proctor didn't actually have to be the case agent. Along with the conflict check, within the first 72 hours since the shooting occurred, evidence is also collected after an immediate response to the crime scene. What? Within the first 72 hours since anything occurred, evidence is collected, and what if it's snowing? They probably it's New Jersey, so like they probably have some stipulations in there for cops can't solve crime in bad weather. By the 20-day mark of the shooting, body cam footage is body cam. What? We don't have that. Body cam footage is released to the public after initial witness interviews are completed. Wow. What is all this stuff? But like we're 44.4% better than them. So why do they have all this? We have drones. Why do they have body cams and witness interviews? We've asked Massachusetts State Police whether Noble will advocate for a similar investigative approach in the Bay State. McGurk said, any change to the current structure would require agreement from the 11 DAs, the state police, and the Healy administration. So any change that we want to make, has to be in full agreement from the 11 DAs, just the state police, like all of them. 11 DAs, the state police, apparently every one of them, and the Healy administration, all of them? What does this even mean? He's like, yeah, so like we can't really like do evidence collection or body cams because like we would have to get like everybody to like say that we should, and like they don't want to. Yeah, it probably is the union, but like it doesn't say that. M99. Tortoise Interference sent $4.99 and said squirrel comment. What's TIL? That the That the janitors in the local school have been using leaf blowers instead of dust mops. Leaf blowers for everything. Like people should start like feeding their babies with leaf blowers. Just stand on the other side of the room and just your kid will get some of it in their mouth. This regionalization would look and feel very similar to the model we have today, but it would disrupt the fusions that have developed over many decades. The issue of law enforcement accountability is now the driving force in Ruth Bannon's life. We're back now to where we started. This is like how my brain works too, whoever wrote this article. She regularly organizes standouts, whether they be at the site of Just on Ruth's death or outside the Norfolk County District Attorney's office. I would like to go to one of those. This is Jennifer Ruth Bannon and Evan Ruth. Along the way, Ruth Bannon has garnered backing from supporters of Reed and Birchmore, who, like herself, are fed up with the Massachusetts State Police homicide investigation process. Kaylee said, can't disrupt the fusions. God forbid. It's been over 4 years since her brother was killed, but Ruth Bannon is still feeling recharged when it comes to seeking out justice. She told us she's connected with about 500 families across the country that have been impacted by officer-involved shootings. She's petitioning for her brother's death to be investigated independently. It's been signed over 23,000 times. Oh, hey, you. Squirrel School's weird without you. I'm just like blabbing. They can't investigate themselves, Ruth Bannon told us. This incident has profoundly changed my life. And even though this is almost 5 years ago, it still feels like it was yesterday because I live and breathe it every day. And I'm on this journey in this fight for the truth pretty much every day. Oh, this was written by BU students. That's why it sounds a little like ADHD like me. But don't you feel like that really kind of sums up everything? Great job, Cloutier and Manius. whatever their names were. Hold on. These people, Eli and John. Great job, Eli and John. Should we take one more quick fervent break, and then I have a couple more things to blibber blabber about, and maybe also while we do a quick fervent break, expert can tell us in the chat what you guys have been up to in Dollywood. Does that sound like a good plan? I don't know why I'm like always waiting for somebody to be like, no, don't do that. But yes, that's what we're going to do. Executive decision. I feel like we haven't done Hank and Lally in a while. Let's do Hank and Lally.
Biting my tongue for so long. Fuck you, Hank. Think you're better than me. Fuck you, Hank. You are not Lally. Fuck you, Hank. Think you're better than me. Fuck you, Hank. But why don't we see? I'm a basic kind of guy, I really don't need a flaunt. Smoking 6 packs a day and I'm happy as a hog. All I do is mumble, do I really need any lungs? The trial 1 jury was just like me, they were hung. Trial 2 came around and you wanna bench me? Not one guilty vote was embarrassing to see. Need to remind you that my jury was 9-3. Take your little OUI and get about the scene. Fuck you, Hank, Hank. Think you're better than me? Fuck you, Hank. You are not Lolly. Fuck you, Hank. Think you're better than me? Fuck you, Hank. Well, why don't we see? Oh, I know what will get us the win. Ask Rachel about his fucking ham sandwich again. That'll prove this beyond all reasonable doubt. Oh, who am I kidding? This shit is a rout. You took this case so damn personally, and I hold that opinion to a scientific certainty. You weasel face, fuck, bet, Arca Major P. Even with all the help you got from Beverly. Standing ovation, what a robust cross. Psych, your nerdy ass looks so fucking lost. Just think, $500,000 was all it cost to get our asses kicked in the fucking law. Fuck you, hey, hey. Think you're better than me? Fuck you, hey. You are not Lolly. Fuck you, hey. Think you're better than me? Fuck you, hey. Well, why don't we see? Why don't we see?
Hey, how'd that case with the middle school teacher go? I hear you're taking more L's than the Commonwealth.
Hey! Waiting for your response, Becky. Yeah, yeah.
Today we say a prayer for Adam Lally, the once mediocre prosecutor who stayed mediocre. May the Lord hear our prayer.
In the words of Auntie Bell, speak up loudly. Got $500,000 cause of your incompetency. Calling me a nerd with creativity. Your shit was boring just like your delivery. Your monotone ass can't demand more cash. Only idiot to use a hung jury as a brag. A lowly ADA, so you must be a hack. You don't wanna see me get spanky on the track. You ain't good enough to have a private practice. You ain't smart enough to hide your malpractice. I was the star, you were like a fading actress. Hope Welcher spread his load all over your mattress. I know a lot of times that raps be fiction, but really let these next 2 bars sink in. You ain't skilled enough to get a conviction, even when in a corrupt jurisdiction. As for the aftermath, well, I'm making more cash. As for you, I think I saw you on DoorDash. Man, I kinda feel bad, sitting back with a laugh, counting up on my stacks. But let me end this quite plainly, just in case that your memory's hazy. It was confirmed on the stand that you're lazy when Rosemary made you her baby. Lolly wanna baba.
Little tiny me. Okay. For those of you who have been here since we started, I finally found that piece of paper I was looking for, Take the Risk or Lose the Chance. Thank you, Melanie Little, for that. Okay, there's one more thing that I want to highlight about the fact that Michael Proctor is terrible. Everybody knew it, and everybody said, yeah, but like, he means well. He has a wife. He has 2 kids. We don't care that he's bad. And to do that, I would like to focus on our good friend, Yuri Buchanan. Yeah. And this is what, like, I want for anybody, like, on Twitter, anytime you're tweeting, like, Proctor is bad, I want it all tied to Connor. It's like Proctor to Morrissey to Connor. It is all the same. Like, this is one and the same. They are a unit. They are literally a unit. They're in the same unit. Oh, also, before we do that, I texted a friend who knows like the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office because I wanted to know for sure, like, what is the setup of this? Like, are they, is it like one floor is for people who like work in an office, it's like maybe you don't know the people who you're on the 6th floor and they're on the 4th floor. And like maybe you see these people in the elevator, but like you don't actually know them. So I asked, how is the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office set up? Like, I know Massachusetts State Police is embedded in the office, but what does that mean? They said, so every DA's office has I quote, MSP detective unit attaché, whatever that means, assigned. So Troop H detectives have troopers assigned to the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. Each DA's office has troopers that are assigned to work those cases. Same floor, offices next to the ADAs, etc. So like literally sharing a bathroom. So like Yuri and Lally are pooping next to each other. You're close. And then I said, is that true in every DA's office in Massachusetts, but not in other states? They said, so that is true for every DA's office in Massachusetts. The DA is the second highest law enforcement officer in the county beside the sheriff, which is usually ignored. The MSP is the investigatory arm of the district attorney's office in Massachusetts. It is just how it's set up. Many other states have the same thing. Some states have DAs that are armed investigators. Some DAs have investigative units outside of police. Like in Georgia, they have the GBI, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. They are not the Georgia State Patrol, their state police. They are like a mini FBI. And then he explained a whole bunch of other states. So they're right there. They're all together. If Michael Proctor talks like how he does in the text messages that we saw today, everybody knows it. Bob is my name. I like that. Hi, Bob. Look at your cute little dog. Oh, I wish I could make that bigger. Your dog's little smile is so cute. Emily, can we demand the phone extractions from every CPD officer employed on January 29th, 2022, and those that have resigned and been investigated since? Any questions about what we can ask for with like regards to public records requests? I don't know the answer to them, but Kyle Sharkey or Corey Hopkins do. I am just the like public relations of the FOIA and find out. I do our advertising and website design. They do the work, and I send the checks. Okay. But I think we should just have everything at this point. Like, can we stop asking for, like, can we just send a letter just being like, give us everything. Don't charge us. Just give it to us. We're going to get it eventually, whether you like it or not. So like, you might as well just like skip the in between and just hand it over. Give us your firstborn. We'll give them back once we have everything. Just kidding. That wasn't, I'm getting tired. It's more fun when I get tired when Expert is here because now I just sound like a weirdo. Okay. Add to stage, share screen, stop screen, wherever I am. Share screen. Okay. Ugh. Stupid face. Also, every time, can we just have a moment for how good Trial Channel's thumbnails are and title The Proctor Problem? Like every detail of every single thing that Trial Channel does is perfect. Here we go. The reason why I want to end with Yuri is to prove that they have all been covering for each other. They clearly all know the type of person that loser is. And they didn't care. They were like, well, he's one of us. Like he has the same uniform. He has like the same clothes as me. So he's my guy. And I will do everything and anything for him, no matter how much he sucks.
Let me just ask you this. Do you believe that...
Also, I love Alan Jackson so much. Let me just ask you this.
Michael Proctor, his involvement in this case taints the investigation? Tainted the investigation?
No.
Not at all.
The investigation was done with honor, integrity, and all the evidence pointed in one direction only.
Honor and integrity by Michael Proctor?
Is that a question? I'm sorry.
Sure is.
Everything I say is a question.
Honor and integrity by Michael Proctor? Okay.
Sustain to the comment. Go ahead and ask it again.
I'll ask it again.
This is a very important question that Sherry Thompson has. Emily, your thoughts on Proctor referring to himself as Bear in the third person? Yeah, that tracks. Like I said, this man is an incel loser who truly doesn't know how to like function in regular society with like normal, smart, functioning adults. So of course he refers to himself as Bear. The way that I see Michael Proctor is like when he was a freshman in high school, there was like a junior upperclassman guy that was like a D-bag, and Michael Proctor thought he was cool, and he has spent the next 25 years of his life trying to be that D-bag. And I bet that guy probably grew out of it, and Michael Proctor has just grown into it and has been trying to be this like loser that he saw in high school for years. So yeah, it tracks that he would refer to himself as Bear in the third person. And thank you, the Goodmans. You guys are amazing.
You said honor and integrity. Honor and integrity by Michael Proctor? Okay.
By Michael Proctor?
I'll allow it.
The investigation was conducted with honor and integrity, and all the evidence pointed in one direction and one direction only.
So, Sergeant Buchanan, you don't want to answer my question, correct?
I will answer your question, absolutely.
Do you think this case was handled with honor and integrity by Michael Proctor, Sergeant?
The investigation was handled with integrity by Michael Proctor.
I like that part where he like chokes on his own lie. He's like, the investigation was done with on. Like even your own body won't let you say it. Okay, one more.
2022.
Brian Higgins was a federal agent, and I crossed paths with him on a couple of investigations, strictly professional relationship, a federal agent and a state trooper.
So not a personal relationship, more of a professional relationship.
Correct.
Did you know him to have a personal relationship with Chief Berkowitz?
I did not know.
Didn't Brian Higgins actually tell you and Michael Proctor in an interview that he had a personal relationship with Chief Berkowitz? He called him one of his better friends. Okay.
Sustained, ask it technically.
Sure. During the course of your investigation, did you learn, although you may not have personal knowledge of it, did you learn that Brian Higgins and Chief Berkowitz had some sort of a personal relationship?
If you show me a report stating that, I would like take a look. If it's written in a report authored by me or that I approved, I will take it for to be fact.
As you sit here now, you don't have a memory of that conversation with Brian Higgins?
Hold on. We need to just go back for 1 second. Listen to the question that Alan Jackson's asking.
Okay. Do you know who Brian Higgins is?
Also, no. Bear lives with his sister now. Also, Bear now drives a Lexus, which feels like he's copying Karen Reed, but he got a like dinkier version of a Lexus. He has like it's still a nice car. But he just got like a less cool version of Karen's car. And it's at his sister's house all the time. Not saying why I know that, but
I do.
What's your relationship with Brian Higgins?
Or
what was it? I should be more pointed to this, Sergeant. What was your relationship back in 2022, January of 2022?
Brian Higgins was a federal agent, and I crossed paths with him on a couple of investigations, strictly professional relationship, a federal agent and a state trooper.
So not a personal relationship, more of a professional relationship.
Correct.
Did you know him to have a personal relationship with Chief Berkowitz?
I did not know.
Didn't Brian Higgins actually tell you and Michael Proctor in an interview that he had a personal relationship with Chief Berkowitz? He called him one of his better friends. Okay.
Sustained, ask it technically.
Sure. During the course of your investigation, did you learn, although you may not have personal knowledge of it, did you learn that Brian Higgins and Chief Berkowitz had some sort of a personal relationship?
okay. So Alan Jackson is just asking, did you learn that Berkey and Higgy are besties? You don't need a report for that. And he's going to go so far down this weird road that he's going to end up just fangirling about Proctor instead of just being like, yeah, I learned they were friends. So want to know what that tells me? You're also covering for Higgy and Berkey and Proctor and Michael Morrissey and Greg Connor because they're the same.
If you show me a report stating that, I would like take a look. If it's written in a report authored by me or that I approved, I will take it for to be fact.
As you sit here now, you don't have a memory of that conversation with Brian Higgins?
Do I have a memory of having a conversation with him
No,
and him sharing that information with me?
That's it.
I don't have a memory of him sharing that information, but if you have a report that was authored by me or Michael Proctor or any trooper in our office that says that, I will take it as gospel and testify to it.
Okay. Well, I don't want to take up the time to look for it. We'll put our hands on that. But in the meantime, let me ask you a few other questions.
So what he just said is that anything that Proctor said is gospel. Right? You guys heard that too? So to Yuri, all the texts that we read today, because Michael Proctor authored them, they are gospel. Not like my kind of gospel, but Yuri's kind of gospel. Yeah, that's cool. Along those same lines, let's check out the report card that hold on. Let's check out Proctor's report card that Yuri made for him. Hold on, I have too many things open. I don't like that. There we go. Okay. So Yuri's the teacher, and he had to make a report card for his friend, Michael Proctor. And let's see how Mikey did. In the category of knowledge, compliance, application of policy and procedures, rules and regulations, statute law, orders and directives, Michael Proctor got the highest score possible, a 5. Outstanding. Trooper Proctor possessed full knowledge and understanding of the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth as they relate to his duties and assignments of the Norfolk SPDU. Now, first of all, I know that Yuri likes to say that like he doesn't, English is his third language, even though he like is very proficient in the English language. So he could use this as an excuse, but weird that he was referring in the past tense when he said possessed, as in like he doesn't anymore. Trooper Proctor possessed, past tense, but sure. Let's see how he is at following oral and written direction of supervisors. He's outstanding again. Trooper Michael Proctor is great at taking orders and utilizing follow-up questions to clarify same. That does good writing. Always ensuring the correct message is being received as it is communicated by the directive or supervisor. Literally, those are just words in a row that don't go together to mean anything. Okay, now Yuri, whose oral and written communication skills are clearly at a level where he could be evaluating somebody else's, he took a point off for this one. He only got a 4, exceptional. Trooper Proctor always writes a clear, concise, and properly formatted report. His work is reviewed by many staff members of the Norfolk District Attorney's Office, who also take notice of his work. So like you guys are like in an office together where you're just like, hey, Greggy, can you come just like review Mikey's report? It's so good. I just like want you to see it. Because like you're all that close that like many staff members in the Norfolk District Attorney's Office just take notice. They like put it on the refrigerator at the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. They're like, Mikey's report was formatted so good. Everybody look, gold star. But he also only got a 4 for that. Okay. Initiative/dependability. We're back to a 5. He's outstanding. Mikey is outstanding at this, being one of the most dependable, reliable, and accountable members of the Norfolk SPDU team. Trooper Proctor is always willing to volunteer for extra assignments in an attempt to help another member. Yeah, it's definitely not to get that overtime pay. He's just volunteering left and right. Oh, I'll do that. I just want to like help everybody out. Don't pay me double overtime. Interpersonal relations. Oops, we're back to a 4. He's only exceptional at this. Trooper Michael Proctor displays professional. Also, can I just pause for 1 second? I was a teacher for 15 years. I wrote a whole bunch of report cards. Just writing like a 1-sentence compliment actually doesn't give that person any feedback at all whatsoever. So like if you're 5 on one and a 4 on the other, there should be a reason why you are not a 5. Even when you're a 5 on something, there should still be like room to grow. And so that should be highlighted. Also, each one of these like standards, whatever they call them in school, they'd be standards. I don't know what they call them, has bullet points for a reason. I'm sure that the person who designed this rubric intended for the person reviewing, like writing the review, to address each one of those standards in the rubric. So like, why are we not addressing each one of these? The member must successfully interact with members of other law enforcement agencies, blah, blah, blah. Like that should be addressed in the comment. Like, it is not clear why you're only exceptional and not outstanding. Also, exceptional sounds better than outstanding, doesn't it? Anyways, Trooper Michael Proctor displays professional demeanor. Oh, does he? Composure. Oh, does he? Dignity. And respect during the performance of his duties. Maybe he just meant duties in the bathroom that they share together with Michael Morrissey and Greg Connor. And especially during interactions with the public. This is seen during interviews with witnesses. You know what I would love? I would love to see that he's so good at, that's seen during interviews with witnesses. Oh, but I can't because none of them are recorded. And they're not even transcribed. They're wrong. Jen McCabe said that Proctor was wrong, but he's so good at them. Oh, I wish I could see. With interviews with witnesses, suspects, as well as victims and their families. Oh, really? Is he so respectful to the victims of SA whose pictures he shares just for funsies? Trooper Proctor is direct and concise. That I agree with. He actually, I will give him that. He was direct and concise. In all of those text messages, he got right to the point. He was like, I am not going to mince words. I am racist, sexist, homophobic, misogynistic, all the ists and the isms. Good job. When interacting with other members of law enforcement through investigations. Oh no, we're only exceptional on this one too. Personal appearance. He has exceptional personal appearance. Maintenance, use of department equipment. Also, like, I feel like it says a lot about the Massachusetts State Police that at one point they were like, okay, I feel like we need to add in a standard that says, like, the member must ensure that their duty uniform is clean, free of defects, and worn in accordance with policy and procedure. Like, I think about that a lot when I like see signs that are like, don't pee in the pool. It's like, okay, there were probably like a lot of people peeing in the pool, and then they were like, need to put a sign up. Like, who was the Massachusetts State Police officer where they were like, listen, we need to add in something about like, you need to not be so stinky every time you come to work. But Proctor is exceptional. Appropriate business attire is worn by Trooper Proctor on a daily basis. All MSP uniforms are always in good working and serviceable order. Like, when you guys get dressed in the morning, are you like, this outfit is in good working and serviceable order? Trooper Proctor's unmarked cruiser is always washed. The one that he drives drunk in? The one that he turns off his GPS in? Well, good thing it's washed and within proper working order and maintenance schedule. Okay. Oh, we're back to outstanding. Yay. Administrative duties. All admin duties are performed in a timely fashion with close attention to detail. During admin duty desk days, that sounds like it's like Spirit Week, like, oop, it's your admin duty desk day. Trooper Proctor is polite. And, well, hold on. What if a Black person, a Jewish person, a woman, a Chinese person, who else? What else did they talk about in there? Everybody else? What if one of them walks into the office? Then is he polite? Probably. Actually, he probably is. And then he texts Goode about it. And diligent in his responsibilities with the calling members of the public to the Norfolk SPDU phone lines. Additionally, Trooper Proctor's collateral duty as this office's CJIS coordinator, I don't know what that is, further helps all the other members to stay in compliance with standing rules and administrative requirements. Word salad. None of that meant anything. You guys, investigative ability. Trooper Proctor is outstanding. Trooper Proctor has had a high-profile caseload with a lot of I. High-profile caseload with a lot of I and pressure from external sources during the entire life of the investigation and subsequent court proceeding. He handles himself and all his cases with utmost professionalism and competence. He is able to investigate his cases thoroughly and with strict integrity. Even with unwarranted and unsubstantiated accusations from the defense attorney on the case. That's like literally so embarrassing that Yuri wrote that. He's like, Michael Proctor showed integrity even when Alan Jackson was paying attention. Like, truly embarrassing. So, good job, Mikey. Yay. You did great. Oh, and Tully approved it. But you guys remember, like, Tully approved it, but like he didn't really want to approve it. But he signed an NDA, so like he had to. Remember he said that? He was like, well, like I knew nope. I knew that like Michael Proctor wasn't like as good as Yuri said, but like I signed an NDA, so I couldn't say that he was bad. What's happening on Monday, June 8th that I missed? Something important. Hi, Baker's friends. Welcome. Literally, nobody is safe. If you're just randomly, also, this is one of them where, like I said at the beginning, these text messages are just the tip of the iceberg because there was a before and after that. Like, what was your conversation that led up to you being like, what did they call her? Anne Frank was a liar? Like, truly, what could they have been texting about where the next response was like, Anne Frank, a child, a little girl who was killed by Nazis in the Holocaust. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube. Sorry. If I say it fast, can they like pick up on it? That is who you are going. Nobody is safe. One last thing I wanted to show you is fuck you, Hank. Think you're better than me. Why don't you see? Okay. Adam Deitch calls for DA Michael Morrissey's immediate resignation. This is the move. Like when Aiden was saying the other day for him to like be bold, like this is not just the move because it is the like smart, it should happen regardless of if he's going to be done. But it's the move because these are the things that get eyeballs on, like, these are the things that the news picks up. They're like, whoa, this guy said a crazy thing. He said that he should resign. Adam Deitch, a former federal prosecutor and candidate for Norfolk County District Attorney today, released the following statement. Quote, Michael Morrissey should resign his position as district attorney effective immediately. Today's text message revelations represent a devastating blow to the credibility of the state police detective unit in Norfolk County and to anyone who supervised them, including and especially Michael Morrissey. Racism, bigotry, misogyny, and anti-Semitism have absolutely no place in the Massachusetts State Police and the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. They are appalling and shocking, and under my leadership, Adam Deitch's leadership, will never be tolerated. I've proudly stood shoulder to shoulder with members of local, state, and federal law enforcement, and I know how hard the overwhelming majority of officers work every day. I've seen the faces of good cops when they uncover the misconduct of bad cops. Today is another dark day for law enforcement in Norfolk County. Michael Morrissey and anyone on his executive team bear responsibility for the utter failure in leadership and supervision exposed by today's news. Whoops. Although Michael Morrissey decided not to run for re-election, January is not soon enough. Norfolk County deserves a DA who can lead with integrity and effectively keep our community safe. Michael Morrissey has demonstrated he is not up to the task. He needs to resign effective immediately. Now, of course, he's not going to. But this is how you make waves. This is how you get attention. This is how you get the news to pay attention to you. I love it. Keep it up. AD for DA. I love it. Tiffany Bob said Morrissey absolutely knew everything. Yeah, exactly. And Morrissey is Adam Deitch. Morrissey is Greg Conner. I was just thinking of Adam Deitch because I wanted to say something and then I was wondering if I should. I'm just going to say it. So before the interview, Deitch and I were backstage and he has like another side of him that is like a little bit kind of like snarkier and kind of like he's very measured. Like in our interview, every time that I've seen him, he is very I don't want to say like cautious or careful, but clearly he is cognizant of like what gets clipped, what he's saying, kind of like chooses his words carefully. And before we came on for the interview, he was just a little bit more like candid, and it made me really excited to see I saw now what probably comes out in like this type of federal investigation when he's like rooting out corruption. I know maybe I'll do like a members only and I'll tell you guys a little bit more because there were some things that he said that I want to say, but then I just remembered that there's 946 of you watching. Also, that just freaked me out. But yes, he is he's normal and he's one of us. Like I just got the vibe that like our read on him is right. Like all these things that people are trying to say on Twitter. Actually, can I pull up one of these? We're never sleeping tonight. So I wandered into a conversation with a dumb person about Adam Deitch, and they were trying to educate me on how corrupt he is. And I was really trying to understand. I was really trying. And if you don't have Twitter or don't follow me on Twitter, you will know that you won't know that I will talk to anybody. I'm not on Twitter to fight. I'm never like seeking out an argument or anything. So if somebody says something stupid and I want some clarification, I'll ask for clarification. And I did. And I was trying really hard to understand. And now I'm just talking until I find what I'm looking for. But they really tried to, okay, here we go. So, oh, good Lord. Okay, share screen. Okay, so I posted something about Colin Albert. Also not attacking him, just to be clear. And then Shaz Liquor said, terrible interview, word salad fraudster douche. Why didn't you ask him about that corruption? You know he was running that bogus investigation, right? Feeding the murder defendant docs. And you're against corruption? He is the corruption. And then this little stick figure holding what appears to be a brain. And it says, try using this, bro. Okay. So then I had a question for Shaz Liquor. And I said, I have a genuine question for you. if you'll be serious for a second. I'm not as familiar with this part of your guys' theory as I am with your theory on the case itself. So when you say, quote, feeding the murder defendant docs, is the allegation that Karen and her defense team reached out to the FBI, admitted her guilt, and then Adam Deitch and fellow federal prosecutors fed them documents in order for her to be acquitted? And Shaz Liquor told me, no, not quite. Not quite means I was close on that one, though. Okay, not quite. There is definitely evidence that Karen was leaked docs well before both sides received that TUI report. We also know that she was speaking with Deitch throughout. Also, like, who is the we? Who is we? We do know that the federal investigation was prompted after a meeting with Yannetti and Karen. We know that every single player involved with the defense has made max donations to his campaign. It's almost like they're private citizens and they're allowed to do that. Yannetti, his wife, Alan Jackson, his law partners in California, the Reed family. We know that Ann Peruti went to high school with Karen. Dun, dun, dun. A federal prosecutor. Also, the prosecutor for the leaker, Jessica Leslie, her husband is Deitch campaign manager. Just a basic overview, but when looking at timelines, it's very interesting. Deitch will avoid answering questions regarding the Reed case. Transparency is important, right? I'm sure everyone has questions about this. So I still wanted to know. So I had some questions. I said, thank you for taking the time to outline those relationships for me. I guess I'm still struggling to see the corruption you're highlighting. Am I understanding correctly that Deitch leaked documents to Karen's team because his future campaign manager is married to a future grand juror? Ann Peruti falsified documents like Proctor's text messages and the ARCA report to free her friend from high school? Karen's team is donating to Deitch as repayment for not filing federal charges as a result of an investigation that Yannetti and Karen requested. Can you help me connect the dots? And then, good news, you guys. Mr. Flower came in. Mr. Flower has all the answers. Mr. Flower said, ARCA testified in trial 1. Dun, dun, dun. That's the first clip. ARCA testified in trial 1. They were able to do this because of back channeling between Deitch and defense. Like, you guys, they call us crazy because we're like, hey, so those are dog bites on John's arm. So like they didn't come from a taillight. And they're all like, conspiracy, get your tinfoil hat. I'm sorry, wait. They were able to do this because of back channeling between Deitch and defense. Karen's team knew ARCA's results before the TUI report. How? Well, I don't know. They could have probably guessed them. I could guess ARCA's results before the TUI report. My nonverbal 5-year-old knows ARCA's results right now already because it's obvious. They're like, oh, a car didn't do that. And like a person didn't do that to the car. How? They knew Quantico expert had looked at the 227 timestamp. Oh my God, they knew that somebody looked at the timestamp that the Commonwealth was lying about? How could they on earth have figured that out? For an independent investigation, it was one-sided. Okay, so I was trying really hard. Dan Flower was here to help me. I said, interesting. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this. It's all new information to me. A few clarifying questions, if you'll be so kind to take a minute and help me understand. So Deitch used that back channeling to give Karen's defense team ARCA's results before the TUI report to give them an advantage over the prosecution. he never answered that one for me. When you say federal investigation was one-sided, are you implying that it was opened to exonerate Karen Read? He didn't answer that one either. All he said was, the feds got their info from the defense, not the MSP, not the DA. That's a bit odd, don't you think? What I do think? Ruh-roh. What? That is seriously odd. I thought it was just the initial tip that came from the defense team. But you're saying that Karen's team provided all the information throughout the full scope of the investigation? That is definitely sus and lazy. So the feds didn't investigate anything on their own? Then he actually changes his mind from the beginning. No, the feds did investigate on their own and had a federal grand jury. That's where Proctor's phone came from. Odd is that Josh Levy personally questioned witnesses in the grand jury, standing in front of large printouts of Turtle Boy's stories. Dun, dun, dun. And then I said, wait, Shazlicker didn't introduce Josh Levy in the explanation of all of the players involved, so fill me in. Then I never got a response. I don't know what Josh Levy and large printouts of turtle, like the way I envision that is like they showed up at the grand jury and they brought in those like big cardboard cutouts of like fatheads, I think they were called, like a David Ortiz, like big cardboard cutout. I just picture them like wheeling in big turtle boys. Like, what are we doing? Why are they trying so hard to do everything else except be like, hey, actually, you know what? I was wrong. Like, Michael Proctor kind of stinks. And I actually think that Karen didn't hit John. It's okay to admit I've been wrong about things, and it like feels good to say you're wrong. It like makes people feel at ease. If you're like, oh my gosh, you're so right. I like didn't understand at all, and now I do, and I appreciate it. Like, that's cool. Only smart people admit when they're wrong because they notice that they're wrong and they like process it, and then they learn, and then they become right. And dumb people don't. So that's that. Someday I should just go through and read my Twitter because it's actually very entertaining. Somebody just said, why do you spend time on Twitter? I know it's a waste of time, but yes, I agree with you that Twitter is a waste of time, but it's also not, because it's so fun and stupid, but like I entertain myself. I do. I like truly make myself laugh a lot on Twitter just for fun. My favorite line ever. Oh my gosh, I wish I could find it right now. Somebody said said something like, "Oh, I want attention from." I need to just find it because it was so funny, and now I'm not going to remember what it was. Maybe can we do one more Fervent song and I'll find it, and then that's how we'll end the night. Yes? No? James Carney. I'm in Norfolk County. Was that to me or for everybody? Everybody share your location. ASL. Okay. We're going to do one Fervent song. I'm going to find my favorite response that I ever said on Twitter, and then I guess we'll go to bed. I'm not even tired. It's probably because I was drinking coffee really late. I shouldn't have done that. Okay.
Today we're gonna learn how to do accident reconstruction. Does that sound fun? Well, listen up, cause here's how it's done. First thing to do is cosplay as the victim. You gotta buy his sweater, his shoes, and then some. His boxers, his shirt, and his denim. You all look confused. Did I say something wrong? I really need you all to play along. See, I don't have much evidence to work with, so I gotta half-ass it. It won't be perfect. Do me a favor, bring that bucket over here. Well, I was lost, but now I have an ID. You gotta paint your arm blue.
We be busting taillight in the cannon Sally Port. Drinking out of solo cups up in the Sally Port. Reviewing grainy footage up in the Sally Port. Keep my shopping bags up in the Sally Port. Pauly G said they hold liquid terrifically. There must be a reason he made 300 G's. Said it would be over if she just copped the plea. Now it's a whole episode and we're on season 3. Yeah, we're talking Karen Reed, and even though she's free, she can't get rid of these goddamn O'Keefes. Cause how can Paul get laid if there ain't a trial 3? We be busting taillight in the cannon Sally Port. Drinking out of solo cups up in the Sally Port. Reviewing grainy footage up in the Sally Port. Keep my shopping bags up in the Sally Port. Organics dancing drunk, getting lit to Creed. Tully's still in Cali interviewing Natalie. Proctor's lost his job, calling up Morrissey. Wonder when and what went wrong with his auto delete. Hey Proctor, I got a question for you. Who's the whack job cutting out? Now get your leaky balloon out in the unemployment line. We be busting taillight in the cannon Sally Port. Drinking out of solo cups up in the Sally Port. Reviewing grainy footage up in the Sally Port. Keep my shopping bags up in the Sally Port.
Practice in fighting?
Right. Did you see them kind of square up in a fighting stance to each other?
I recall them grabbing each other. I don't recall them squaring up like they were fighting each other. No, they were playing a little grab ass with each other. I did see them grab each other. I don't recall a physical, hey, let's go, duke it out. I do not recall that.
Okay, so are you saying, taking you literally, that they grabbed each other's asses? Is that it?
No, I'm saying grab ass. It's a figure of speech.
Okay.
It's only 10 a.m. and I'm halfway through this flask. Got me thinking about the night and the way I grabbed your ass. Yeah. Jackson mischaracterized our mental state. Yeah. Cause it wasn't premeditation, it was simply our foreplay. I remember that drive from New York when your hand touched mine. Then you told me about Karen Reed, I lost my mind. I said, Higgy, don't forget about your bride. You said, I'll make it up to you later tonight. I miss you, I miss your ass, I miss you, give it a grab. I miss you, I miss your ass, I miss you, give it a smack. At the waterfall you said, put your hands like this. So I grabbed you from behind and damn near gave you a kiss. You said easy there, bride, you know I'm kinda shy, but this Jameson and ginger got me feeling kinda wild. Look at John O'Keefe kissing up on my girl. Eyes on me, Higgy, you know that I'm your world. I don't know, bride, I think I'm in a girl's look. Just come back to my place and give it a whirl. About your bride. You said I'll make it up to you later tonight. I miss you, give it a grab. I miss you, I miss your ass. I miss you, give it a smack.
I recall them grabbing each other. I don't recall them squaring up like they were fighting each other. No, they were playing a little grab ass with each other. I did see them grab each other. I don't recall a physical, hey, let's go, duke it out. I do not recall that.
Okay, so are you saying, taking you literally, that they grabbed each other's asses? Is that it?
No, I'm saying grab ass. It's a figure of speech.
Okay.
That took me so long because the stupid troll deleted their comment and now I don't remember what they said. And it was my favorite. Boo. got a bad feeling. You're too nice. Thank you. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but anytime that you say nice things to me in super chats, I skip over them. I need to stop doing that. Genosaurus Rex Esquire sent $25 and said, Emily, you're such a breath of fresh air. I get weird reading those, but thank you. I appreciate that like so much. Thanks for bringing such smart commentary to these issues that are so important for us here in Massachusetts, and for owning the trolls. That's the most fun part. I really appreciate that. I need to get better at not feeling uncomfortable when people say nice things. I'll cross that bridge after I figure out how to make my brain not go crazy and short circuit like a cat bringing a bird. I love that. Dancing Quinn 8 sent $4.99 and said, I think all locals in Norfolk County need to teach in simple terms how to vote for a Dem. Adam Deitch, they are registered as a Republican, my biggest concern. Okay, I get what you're saying, and let's talk about this before we go. And yes, I don't know why I'm running on CAF. That is such an important point. So, Adam, thank you, Zach. I needed that. Zach thinks I'm awful. You're not blocked. You're right here. Okay, very important point that Dancing Quinn just brought up. So the election that like most people think of as like election day is in November. The election in November doesn't matter because the only election that matters is the Democratic primary that is happening on September 1st. And the Democratic primary is only open to registered Democrats and registered unenrolled independents. I don't know why we call them unenrolled, because like you're enrolled. But it is not, so like in the primary, you get like your Democrat ballot or your Republican ballot. Somebody was asking in the chat once, like, why? It's because if you think about not Massachusetts and not this election, but a purple state where it, sometimes they elect a Democrat, sometimes they elect a Republican. It's like you could go either way. Imagine if all of the Democrats could vote for the bad candidate of the Republicans that like they don't like, and in the primary, and then that could go on to be the person on the general election ballot. It would be a way to like infiltrate the other side, basically. So that's why it's set up like that. In this case, I believe that we should have ranked choice voting. It's obviously not going to happen for this election because that takes a ballot initiative to do that. But if you'll indulge me for a second, I'm going to go on a little rant about ranked choice voting. So imagine if in this election, you could go to the poll and instead of just voting for Deitch, you could rank them all. So you could be like, Deitch, 1, Juna, 2, Baccarat, whatever his name is, 3. Who else is running? Ann something? 4. The guy I met at the supermarket, 5. One of the other people running. Why are there so many people? Can some people drop out? And then all the way down at the bottom, you could either rank Greg Connor 7th, or you could not rank him at all and literally give him 0 points. Then they would take all those ballots and they'd be like, okay, go through all the ones, like score them. Okay, Juna only has 7 votes, so now we're going to throw her out. And everybody who put Juna first, we're going to go to their number 2s. So all the people who are like still involved, they stay so you're 1 counted. But now Juna's voters, it goes to their second choice. So if all of Juna Perkins voters then put Adam Deitch second, then Deitch will get all those votes. And that's how you can navigate an election where there's this many people without having them need to AD is Adam Deitch. I'm so sorry. That was really funny. Lieutenant Pez Dispenser Tully. AD is Adam Deitch. AD for DA. AD 4. So Adam Deitch, 4 District Attorney. Thank you for asking. I appreciate when people ask questions when they don't understand. I'm sorry you had to ask 100 times, but I'm glad we got to clear that up. Ranked choice voting in like the most successful version of it does require voters to be like very informed. So like even more informed than I am right now, because I don't know who that last person is that I can't even think of who's running. But it also doesn't really, because you could just not like, so in real ranked choice voting, you could be like, I vote for a 1 and a 2 and that's that. And you don't need to fill out all 7, or you could, and it's your choice. I have a little graphic that can demonstrate what in the world I'm talking about. Ranked choice voting, how it works. Voters rank the candidates first to last. Then candidate C has the fewest votes, so now their second choice voters get split between A and B, and now A wins. Then that seemed a little confusing. So here's another example. If you're asking people like, hey, what do you want at the barbecue? We're only going to get one of these things. Everybody say what you want. And you're like, I want hot dogs, but I'd also be okay with hamburgers, but I don't want spaghetti, because that would be a weird thing to have at a barbecue. So then you rank that 1 and 2. And then this person ranks hot dogs 1 also, but then they rank spaghetti 2. But that doesn't really matter now because 1 is still winning. But then this person back here wants spaghetti because it's Jessica Hyde and she doesn't understand how menus work. And then now spaghetti has won. So now burger gets thrown out. And it's really not that complicated. And it's a better representation of how the people actually feel. And Jessica Hyde sounded like somebody who has only ever been to a Waffle House, because the way she was describing that menu, that only at Waffle House can you get like pizza and pancakes and waffles and also a Celebrate report somehow for no reason, and a write ahead log are also on the menu. Yeah, that's that. Okay. Music to My Soul sent $9.99 and said, as hard as it was to hear the details of that filing, the bottom line is that Karen, oh my gosh, I'm glad you just said that, because I have one more thing I wanted to say. But we're going to be here all night. Karen is rooting out corruption in Norfolk County. Plus, Aaron Spencer is free. That means today was a really great day. I agree at 1,000%. I feel like there was something very like yin and yang about seeing like something so good happen to somebody that deserved it, like Aaron Spencer, while we were like seeing depravity in action. What I wanted to say about Karen is I feel like there was something about hearing the text messages today that like really made me kind of understand what like what Karen has been through. I think there's been a lot of times kind of like in the movement that we're so invested that there have been things that like we want from Karen, where it's like, we want you to like speak out, and we want you to say this, and we want to hear from you this. And hearing what she's been up against truly in act, like, you know, when you walk into a room and you know that people have been talking about you, Karen has had to live with that feeling for 4+ years. And like the gaslighting that she has been up against, where she's going through trauma. She lost her boyfriend. She like held his body. And then she was told that she did it. And then these people that are willing to like go to the ends of the earth to embarrass her and degrade her are the ones that hold all of the power. Like, it is amazing to me that on some level that she's even willing to like engage in this lawsuit now, because I bet there's a big part of her that wanted to like move to a cottage on the beach where she was like in her own little bubble and never had to be in Massachusetts ever again and never had to like deal with authority ever again. And the fact that she's still willing to like challenge them in this way is really impressive. And I think that like we as a movement have been really hard on her. Like I said, like because we're all so invested and there are things that like we want to say and do and that we want to see her do. But like they were so awful to her. And then she did speak out and she did go on every like news channel and interview and documentary, and they used it all against her. And I understand that at this point, it's not the same, like, they can't use her words against her in the same way that they can in a criminal trial. So it is kind of like, you already did it once, like, why not just keep going? But also, like, once you've been burned like that, like, why would she want to say anything where then she knows that she's going to be like doing what I'm doing right now, which is like overthinking the words that are coming out of your mouth, and you're not going to look genuine when you're talking, only because part of her brain's going to be like, how are they going to clip this? How should I end this sentence so that the next Hank Brennan the Diller can't clip this in a way that makes it sound like I did something wrong when I know that I didn't, and they know that I didn't, but they're framing me for this. Like, when you know that they're willing to do anything to find you guilty, even when you know that you're not, that has to be just like the most, like, we have to be able to trust the world around us, that like things just operate normally. Like, you didn't hit somebody with your car, so they're not going to plant evidence that says that you did. And it is the gaslighting that she has been through just must really kind of like shake your sense of reality in a way that like I don't think that for some reason like I didn't fully wrap my mind around until seeing those text messages. I agree with this 1,000%, Cusco, right? That Karen and Aiden are both suffering PTSD thanks to the treatment of the Norfolk County DA and Mass State Police. And I think part of like the Karen Aiden fallout just comes from like what made Aiden so good for Karen leading up to the trial, like the way that he's willing to put himself on the line and say the things that people are thinking, but nobody else like is willing to put themselves on the line to say, is also really scary to her at this point, where it's like, she probably thinks like, I don't know that I want you to say anything anymore because I'm trying to like stay off the radar. And I think like the combination of PTSD and that feeling probably just makes it really hard to kind of like operate in a way that like we see as normal, because like we can't put ourselves into the trauma that they're still living, if that makes any sense. Sorry. Sheila P said, Karen is so traumatized. If you understand the human psyche at all, you can see it. I'm surprised that she's able to function as well as she is. I think her family, and like, it really is a really beautiful thing to kind of like see a family like be such a unit the way that her parents have been for her, because I think without having her parents as like steadfast as they've been, I don't know that like she would have lost her mind. I would have lost my mind just watching this. Mrs. Tom Selleck, I like that name, sent $4.99 and said, I watched Loophole Lawyer and Lawyer You Know today, and you have brought so much more to the discussion. Thank you, Emily. I appreciate that. I watched Lawyer You Know too. I like the way that Peter like gives me the legal perspective that I clearly don't have and isn't really that sticky because I don't always come away understanding it all. But I appreciate that. Okay. We should probably go to bed because it's late, but like I drank too much coffee. This is interesting. Heidel 1776 said, sorry, but in my opinion, ranked choice voting asks voters to anticipate what will happen in future runoff elections. That is gamesmanship. It is not voting from an informed position on candidates and issues. That's interesting because that's not how I was interpreting it, but I can see what you mean. So like you're saying, okay, if like Adam Deitch is my first choice, I'll put him first, but then I don't want to put Juna Perkins second, even if she is my second choice, because then what if like putting her second then like puts her ahead? So then that is interesting. I was picturing it more like literally being able to like, if I don't get my first choice, then I get my second choice. But I get what you're saying. Log off and watch a movie. Yeah, right. Watching a movie I would like end up like going for a walk or something. Like I get so antsy. I don't know. I need somebody to like teach me what you're supposed to do when you watch a movie. Then I go on my phone and then I'm like looking up the actors and then I miss what happened. Then I have to go back and then I'm like, oh, but I knew that actor in like that Mary-Kate and Ashley special in like 1992. And then I'm like pulling that up on YouTube and like 35 minutes later, I don't know what's going on in the movie. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to go to bed even though I'm not tired because I think that we should. But this was really fun. I missed the expert and I missed Squirrel School, but I'm glad I did this and I appreciate you guys being along for the ride. I do not understand that Lego drama at all whatsoever. And every time that I try to understand it, I am more and more confused than I was when I started. I think I like miss the beginning of the story every time or something because I don't get what's happening at all. I don't understand. I watched the last probably like 35 minutes of Rat House Media yesterday, and they didn't mention Legos once. Lego, no S. They didn't mention Lego once. So I understand that it's somehow about Lego, but I did not hear them say Lego the whole time that I was watching. So I still don't understand what Lego has to do with anything. Also, I got my Lego set for when I do Lego La Life and Libations with Valhalla and them on June 13th, I think. I got my Lego set. That is a show I love, The Circle. If you've never watched The Circle, there's something so fun about that. I really like when they're like, sounds like voting on Netflix reality show. Do the emoji with the hands and the hugging. Send. I think I would have fun on The Circle. Okay. No. Literally, you would think that I could watch something without like looking things up. It doesn't happen. I do know that. I know that people know how to do that. I just personally don't. And then I'll be like, I don't know. My brain just goes on a whole little adventure all by itself. Lori Marie also didn't understand Lego yesterday. I won't leave my studio if you don't go to bed, and I don't want to drive home at the same time the bars close. Also, The Circle is amazing. What is your studio? That sounds like you're in like a cozy spot right now. I wouldn't leave either. Okay. The circle is really, okay, I have another story. I made a TikTok about this. This was like one of my first TikToks that I ever made about the Karen Reed trial. And it was about Colin lying inadvertently it was like, went from the circle to Colin lying. The point of the TikTok video I made was that in a season of The Circle, okay. Oh no. First, I'm going to have to explain this. Okay. The Circle is a show on Netflix where the cast is all in a building and each person is in a room by themselves, like in an apartment by themselves. And the only way that they can talk to each other is on like social media, basically. So they're all in this building and some of them can choose to you can choose to be yourself. So you can go in and be like, it's basically Twitter. It's like you can either be a troll account or you can be yourself. And nobody really knows like who's telling the truth and who's lying. And it kind of doesn't matter. So like some people will go on and be like, use like a like really pretty girl for their avatar when they're like a doofy guy because they're like, I think I would get more attention if I was like this really pretty girl. And then they'll do these like challenges where they have to like put makeup on a doll and then it's like clear that they're not a girl. Anyways, that's besides the point. In one of the seasons, they like cloned an account. So there was like 2 Emilys and the people had to decide who was like the real Emily. I forget what the girl's name actually was. And the people who were lying ended up convincing the rest of the cast that they were the real Emily. And the way that they were able to do that is when you like make up a lie about things, you can tailor it exactly to how you can understand how it will be perceived. There's like research in this where it's like a well-crafted lie is more believable than the truth, basically, because you can like anticipate the not the like and I don't mean this in like the Sergio Gennaro way. I mean the actual like words of the lie. The point of it was like if you are able to like anticipate how people are going to perceive your lie, then you can make it like however you can craft a story that is believable. And in the Karen Reed trial, a lot of people were able to do that. And when you compare like Jen McCabe's story to Karen's story, Jen McCabe's story has a whole lot more like details, and she was here and she was there and she was like looking over here and then she plugged in her phone there and then she walked back and forth here and Karen's story is like, I don't actually remember. Like I pulled up to the house and then I was like, I think I looked at my phone or something. And then I looked up and like John, I think like went into the house because I assumed he walked to the door and then I like didn't see him physically walk in, but like, I'm sure that's what happened because he was like at the door and then he was not there anymore. And people are like, well, Karen's lying because she doesn't have all of these details. No, Karen is telling the truth because she doesn't have all of those details. The lie is the one with like all of the details. Does that make sense? I'm really tired now. This was good. That trying to get that story out just made me tired. Okay. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for being here and indulging my ramblings and making me feel like I'm not crazy for thinking this is as important as I think it is. And I really do think that if we work together, if we make sure that everybody knows going into this election that Michael Morrissey is terrible and Greg Connor is Michael Morrissey, then we can help Adam Deitch shift the tides in Norfolk County and end this season of corruption. And PCB Amy sent $5 and said, Reckless Ben is the Lego Turtle Boy. Is that the guy with the long hair? I really do need to just start from the beginning. Watch his videos to get it. It's a crazy story and he's funny, but makes you cringe at times just like Aiden. Okay, I can handle that. Cool. Thank you for spelling that out for me. Okay, I'm going to sleep. Good night.
If you need a place to breathe, some stress to just relieve, then come watch Emily C, where we keep it drama free. We want justice for John O'Keefe, Aiden and Kelsey, waved bye-bye to Morrissey. Let's clean up Norfolk County. Emily C, the one we need, reading sidebars with Corey, writing Hank diaries, giving the people what they need. It's my pleasure to entertain, keeping you laughing makes my day. Positivity all the way. Why don't we tell Satan not today? And now it's time to say goodbye, but before we say goodnight, just keep one thing in mind. Please like, comment, subscribe.